Hi, it's going. Today we're going to talk about agnostics, and it's not that inherently like I really care. Just like to me, actually about skepticism, it's not that I would have ever even cared really about those two words or people using them. It's that when people that use those words then tell me I am wrong and I am the one not following logic. Well, as a rationalist, yeah, that don't work for me. And so a lot of the things that in a sense that people say are just outright fallacies. In other words, to make it simple for people, especially how I see it, because unlike say some philosophers that really get into knowing all the specific philosophies, as an axiologist, I'm always looking for value. But anyways, right. So one of the things about agnostics and skeptics, why it seems like I'm anti them or something, it's really I'm anti ideas that are wrong. So
Right.
I don't care if it was another atheist. I wouldn't care if it was an axiological atheist said something. It doesn't mean that inherently I'm going to 100% agree with them.
For sure.
Or someone who calls himself, once again, let's go back to this thing. What someone calls themselves may not be accurate to what I think the thing is, right? Or maybe even could be both be an error, and it actually means something else.
Right.
But that's also why because I care about value, you have to understand words are just packets that hold information to me. It's the value that they're trying to transmit that matters.
Right.
So I know that I think, as an axiological philosopher, so I think different than probably most people process the world, but I see it differently. And it allows, as you know, Corey, it allows me to make really fast, really detailed decisions that are
For sure.
accurate,
Yeah.
fast, because of looking at the world like the Matrix. Like everything has these different values. And then it's the same thing like when going to agnostics, right? When someone offers an axiologist an idea, we don't start with doubt. Like say some people, I'm skeptical until I get convinced or whatever. No,
Right.
as an axiologist, it's like a blank slate. I don't know if I should doubt.
Right.
That's in a, I'm just, and I'm once again too. I want to say something about this video in general. All these are my ideas, myself. I don't mean just that I've invented it myself, which is a lot of things I have my own philosophies, but I don't mean that. I just mean that I don't speak for Corey, in other words. Like
Right.
my personal views, I want to throw this out here because a lot of people are like, well, all atheists don't think this, that. I'm not defending all atheists or atheism in general. I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
So just to clarify that, so people, if they want to, jump in the comments and say something, well, at least we can say it accurately. So, anyways, my problem is I don't like anybody. Like I said, it could be the same thinker as me. It could be me. Sometimes
Past you.
yeah, or even sometimes could be current me because I'm also I sometimes think as I'm thinking.
Right.
Like at the same time, I'm like analyzing myself or watching what I'm doing, guard watching my thinking sometimes. I think that's a healthy thing in general, really.
Yeah, for sure.
I was just going to say that. I do it for myself because I have special psychological reasons. It's probably best for me to be guard watching myself.
But it's good
But
for
I think
everybody.
in general, that's just a good thing, though.
Just maintain a level of epistemic humility, please.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that goes back to like epistemic humility. And there was people understand it, what I would see that is. Epistemic is the fact of like knowledge or understanding or truth or accuracy or whatever. It's like a searching for the understanding.
Yeah.
And then humility is that, yeah, I may be wrong. I may not know. But this goes back to as a rationalist, I believe in fallibilism. How could I not? I'm a rationalist. Right. If you're rational and don't think that you're fallible, you're not rational anymore.
I guess if somebody doesn't know what fallibilism, what is that?
Oh, so fallibilism also, just once again, when I use philosophy terms, you got to understand, you read some of that, and some of that is maybe how I would do it, but I haven't, like when I study philosophy, so people know, I'm actually quite good at it, but I didn't study people. Right. I studied as an axiologist the ideas.
Yeah, it's like if you read somebody's book, you're reading the ideas. You're not like going to quote them necessarily.
Right. Well. That's a good way of putting what I could do, and I have done. But what I was actually referring to is just the ideas itself. In other words, like I've read nothing of Plato, nothing on Socrates. I don't even know. Like I know just a couple. Oh, actually, it's actually nothing. I know a couple things that relates to religion, kind of, but not. I mean, barely anything. Like a page, or So my point is,
Right.
what I have done though is what is epistemology, and then not even what people's ideas about it. Just understand. I don't want to go into all of this because when I talk about philosophy, I could just keep and.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're to some philosophy, they ask them a simple question, they do never give a simple answer.
No, that's right.
Then they're really a philosopher. But of course, it depends, because sometimes I could give a simple answer, and like someone says, explain all your axiological thinking and all your atheist thinking and everything in one thing. I'm like, okay, no problem. I want to be a good human. That's my game.
Right.
Simple.
Yeah.
So it goes back to axiology, what is good, because that's one of the main things. Axiology, if you look up the term, its goal in a sense is what is good, but it also means what is valuable. Because axiology, once again, doesn't get lost in the term, every definition it can have. It's saying, what is we using this for? Like when you say truth, people go, well, I have the truth. Okay, well, truth, you need to understand, is a claim of knowledge, so you're going to have to back that up. Like you talk about epistemology. Oh, you have to back that up. So an axiologist already knows, like you just said something that requires a thing. Just like I've had a lot of problems even with atheists because they'll say, I have no beliefs. And I'm like, that itself is a belief.
Yeah. Well, and that was a thing that, like, I don't know, when I was active in the atheist community, a lot of religious people would say, well, I could never be an atheist because I have to have some beliefs. And we always argued, like, no, we have beliefs. We believe in this and we believe in that and we believe in this and that.
Right. I believe that Corey is a good person, especially from my own experience. So
based on the evidence you've acquired.
Right. I mean, it doesn't mean maybe he's axe murdering people and I don't know. I mean, people do terrible shit. I mean, I don't know if he hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, in his past, I doubt it.
Never know.
But anyways, I'm saying is that's the same thing about knowledge. This goes back to no different, right? That was logical, right? Isn't that logical? That how could I know, right? How could I know, even though I do think Corey's an amazing person, do I hang out with him all the time? No. You know what I'm saying? Like, have I been and seen him around because it's always easy to be nice to people that are nice to you. Let me see you interact with people that fucking hate you. Then I will see, maybe what kind of person you really are. Sometimes, because sometimes people seem like, oh, that's such a wonderful. I think you see around some people are like, what the hell?
That's like,
So
it just makes me think of like my partner. She knows how I am around home, but then when we went to my work Christmas party, she saw a change and she's like, "Who is this person?" This is work, Corey.
True. Well, just like when I get on these videos, a lot of times I get hyped up. And so when I get hyped up, I fall more back into when I was a street kid. And so I say the fuck a lot and I call people motherfuckers because that's what I used to do. I was horrid. I mean, I remember it was really weird. I started going to AA meetings when I was like 17 and I didn't, because it was so normal. Like at home, my parents were religious. We never said curse words. But almost the moment that I got out, that's almost all I did. Like total rebellion. And so, but this goes back to the thing about knowing people, right? So my mom would have said, oh, Damien never curses. But she would have been dead wrong.
Right? Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
So this goes back to knowledge, right? But she has no reason. This goes back to the understanding reason, like agnosticism and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
She has no reason to doubt otherwise. So it's not illogical, but it's still wrong. If you understand like logic, like sometimes they'll go, that's logical or not logical. That doesn't mean really right or wrong all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Right? So but I understand that reasoning is complicated for some people. It seems more easy for me. In fact, I haven't really even read through and tried to study exactly all the logical fallacies, because it really doesn't matter to me. If you understand right thinking, it's like truth. You know, the best way to find a counterfeit money, I've heard, I don't know if this statement is true, but I'm not claiming that. I just heard it.
Yeah.
But it goes with what I'm trying to make a point of. They say that in the bank, what you do is you give people real money, tons of it, and they can make them touch it. Then you give them fake, and they can almost immediately, whoa, this feels weird.
Oh, interesting.
And so, but anyways, I'm just making a comment that so experience helps us, right? So this goes back to how do we know things, right? The experience helps us. So I've had skeptics that were also agnostic, especially. This is what I think. I'm not going to pick on and say the person that but they're big in California, like in meetup groups for atheists. Anyways, not going to go. But so the person loves to say that, because I'm going to quote him without quoting him or saying who it is, but they say something, because also I don't remember exactly this. I don't like to say phrases and then it was wrong, you know. But it's something like, he would always go, well, because he always go, well, Damien, aren't you an atheist? And I would say, yes, I'm an axiological atheist. And he goes, why don't you just say atheist? I said, because it's not explaining who I am.
Right. It's not a complete explanation.
How I got to atheism is axiology, not your doubt or skepticism or whatever. It was because I reasoned through it with axiology.
Right.
In other words, I looked at and I thought the things were true because of the Bible. Now I have learned in college, I learned the Bible's not accurate. Well, then I had to take an axiological reassessment. Whoa. I had a value judgment that was inaccurate. See what I'm saying? Oh, shit. The Bible's not accurate. I can't trust it as a source. Whoa, okay. You know, that just, then the whole Bible, I was done with it. The whole Bible, because I found some errors, like this is supposed to be perfect. For me, at least, I'm just saying. So going back to this thing. So I didn't get there by other people's way. It was kind of because of learning archaeological evidence, historical evidence, and information about the Bible specifically that changed me. But you know, my axiological understanding, and then anyways, but my point is, I'm just making this thing is it. I'm not just like in other words, like people, are you a new atheist? No, I got here by axiology, and I'm still that way. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Corey?
Right.
But people understand axiology is like a web because it's value centered. It's value and disvalue equally. Like in other words, you should hate that is evil and love that is good, in a sense, almost like an axiological, like saying or something. So that's why it also goes to the thing is atheists often don't like Damien. So sometimes a long time ago, used to say, well, maybe I'm not an atheist then. I mean, what are your definition? I am what I am.
Right.
So I'm an axiological atheist. Understand it is also, it's always, like I told you before, anti-theism. And it's also, in a sense, anti-agnosticism with an A. But Ignosticism with an I, that it supports that.
Right.
Because it's like a levels of thinking as an axiologist. You start at nothing, which I explained to Matt Dillahunty in the video when I chat with him. He's like, I don't know how anyone could start with apatheism, because I said, axiology atheism starts in apatheism. That's where it starts. And but he did like, I don't know how anyone could do that. Like, oh, really? I can explain it to you. Matt Dillahunty is out in space and has no pre-knowledge. And it's just pure pitch black, and you have zero sensation, but you can see, and you see zero nothing. Everything is black. What do you know? And you said, well, first say, what do you know? Then I'll explain why I asked him this, because it's better. I should explain it first. But so, and then he says nothing. I say, exactly. Actually, I called him Matt the Skeptic because I was being a dickhead, but Matt the Skeptic is out in space. I think that's what I said, but
fair.
Well, accurate too, because in a sense, I don't think like him. Me and him do not. Right. Even though I by the way, though, I do think Matt is a pretty good thinker. I just think that me and him think very different, and yet kind of come to similar things. Like he agrees, reason and evidence is the greatest. Well, so do I. But there's some ways that we get there that's not the same.
Right.
Him sounds almost like a faith jump, and mine's more like axiology to get there. The reason I say faith jump is just to make a point. I'm not trying to dig on him, but Matt Dillahunty, at least before, so I don't know what he says now, but at least before, he had said that he doesn't know anything outside of his own mind. Right? He's made this comment. He doesn't know reality is real, which I told you, I already okayed that maybe I don't. And as axiology says immediately, oh, you solve that because, okay, so if people are fake, no one gets hurt. And if people are real, people can get hurt. Oh my God. Then you have to act on the side of people can get hurt.
I consider the idea that reality might not be real to be irrelevant. Like it's a nonsense.
Well, once again, that goes back to see, but now you're getting, so is the God. That's how axiology sees it. So is the God.
Right.
Because if I was trying to get skeptics like to understand, don't start with doubt, start with nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
That's where you should start, because that is the logical place to start. Because he said, Damien, I don't know how you said, because he goes apatheism. This is why. Because I said, axiological atheism, which I'll explain it now too. Axiological atheism starts in a sense at, of course, nothing. So there's always zero. In other words, to put it in other people's think, and Dawkins scale would be the highest form of disbelief, right? 7 or whatever it is. Although I think that scale is dog shit, and I made my own scale just because of that. Not that I would have thought I'd been doing that, but once I saw his garbage, I went, oh fuck, that's not even logically. You start with not knowing, not faith, and then somehow don't have no. Anyways, just making a point. You start like I tried to explain with Matt. You start in no knowledge at all, and that is how you should start pondering thinking, not start from I know everything. Like, no, what kind of thing is no? Or you know anything. You start with nothing. And then you break out how you get to wherever. So, like I'm saying, so you know nothing. And then the first thing after not knowing anything would not be, is God real? Your thing was, because I told him, Matt, just think, as an axiologist, I'm all about reality. So that we're realism, just by people know. We're in the scientific realism. The best kind of quality we can do to define what is real. That's what an axiologist, to me, should believe in. There's at least a scientific one. Even ones that maybe say they're atheists, they should still believe it, because otherwise, are you doing axiology? Like,
like how are you even getting to where you are?
Okay, so we're back to because think about this reason, just so people that don't understand why I say this so strongly. Axiology needs to make accurate value judgments. If you give me something that is fake and there's also something that is real, are they actually the same value? No.
I would say no. Yeah.
No, it's an absolute no. How could any axiology go, well, yeah, maybe. No. So that thus, like I said, it would be impossible to say that you reject reality as an axiologist. I put this way, I don't know how you can do that. But let's move on to, I guess, supernatural bullshit, probably magical something. But you're not. You're just playing games. You're not actually doing axiology. Come on, because axiology would go, what's the value of a myth? Would only be systemic. Going back to let me not go too many things about philosophy. But anyway, so I'm just saying, so my axiology atheism is complicated, but it's actually easy, because it's just what's valuable, what's disvaluable. So it starts at what's disvaluable is that to make assumptions when you have nothing. And since there's nothing in the real world, right? Nothing inspires God. Like, if that was true, then every person in the world would have a God belief. They don't. And in fact, there's many tribes that have animism at 100%, but yet God belief among hunter-gatherers studied across the world, 33 cultures by an anthropologist or whatever it was, it's only like 30%, and then it's only like 15 or 16% that they actually think that they're active in the world, like do anything. They say it's real, like pantheism almost, or deism. There may be something, but it doesn't do shit. And then only a couple of them going on. So anyways, my point is 100%, right? Animism. So this goes back to what I say, that animism is natural for us. It's a logical error And it's almost like a cause and effect relationship. Because I see something move, and only things that can move are alive, thus it's alive. And I'm just simplifying. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but this is, so all I'm saying is it's natural, even in a sense. So you could be an atheist and also an animist, and an animism is natural. You have to, it's almost like rationalism requires us to stop and go, wait a minute, that thing's just floated down. It's not that the leaf was alive for a minute.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't actually have to be a spirit-filled
leaf or holding a leaf or whatever. Anyways, so it just fell off the tree. It's just gravity and logical explanations, I'm saying. But animism essentially is like a logical fallacy, almost like that naturalism has to be supernatural. It's a fallacy to me, or whatever. It's an illogical jump. There's nothing natural.
Yeah.
Think of this. In all the tests and all the countries and every single science in every single way throughout time has proved one thing distinctly. That every mystery ever believed to be supernatural turned out to be only natural.
Yeah. And they all have a natural explanation.
So I'm just saying, so it's the preponderance. It reminds me when someone says, well, a scientist thinks something, or someone says, which at Axiological, I would be more valuable. 1,000 scientists think something. What if I said 100,000 scientists? What if I said 5 million scientists all agree climate change is happening? Should I go, I'm still going to doubt because it's not 100%. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Right?
Yeah.
You get about axiology, you value judge really quick. I'm saying, see how you make quick decisions because you value judge. Well, that's insane. Yeah. So in other words, like, should I just care about someone who just randomly says that out of their head they came up with stuff, or should I trust an archaeologist that's actually gone to the place, dug the stuff, and grasped the larger, talked to the people in the area, got a larger concept than someone like Graham Hancock that just makes it up off the top of his head? Well, I have a theory, but this happened. Yeah. They're like, okay, where's the pottery? Oh, there isn't any. And where's the DNA? Well, the DNA doesn't show up. And how come they're where were they at? Okay, so the thousands of years they waited. Oh, actually, they were in Antarctica. Well, why Antarctica? Well, Antarctica is a great place because Antarctica, nobody fucking lives there, so no one knows shit about it. So you can say whatever the fuck you want. There can be monsters there, fucking dragons.
Right? Eh?
Yeah. Right. If you're an illogical person, literally there could be trolls there, and who knows? They're small little people.
You can't prove there wasn't.
But I'm not trying to put down people that are small, by the way. I'm making a comment that the belief can be easily, in a sense, made suspicious or unknown or mysterious if it's somewhere where nobody is at and knows almost shit about. I mean, you can make all kinds of lies.
So should we believe those lies or those ideas?
Right. Exactly my point. The value. Do you see what I'm saying? How could you, if you had a scale and you're like, all the archaeological evidence and all the scientific research and this dumb fuck that just comes up with some ideas, you're like, if you pick that dude, I don't know what to tell you. Seriously, what the fuck? They're like, oh, well, these scientists did stuff. It's like, yeah, that sounds like what I would call a conspiracy theory. That everybody's working, like especially when they use conspiracy theory words. The people that follow that Graham Hancock, I guess I don't know what I'm like on the outskirts, fucking with Graham Hancock in a sense. There's archaeologists that dedicate themselves to, and I'm super happy because I just to throw out real quick. It's just like agnosticism. Why would I care? Well, do you know who's in the atheist community has said the most anti-science shit to me? Or don't trust science? Agnostics. You know who said the most don't trust science to me? Skeptics. Now, I'm not saying atheists haven't had some horrible beliefs, but they weren't those.
Right.
The beliefs I've gotten more from atheists was hating agnostics or wanting to kill, theists or something like just some. That's not right.
Some pretty bad stuff, but
so a different kind of, but more like a bigotry, like against the thing. And once again, I'm not saying this is all atheists did this. I'm just saying that seems to be more. There's like a lot that, or they laugh at killing. Oh, we should just throw them to the Christians to the lions. That shit was fucked up then. It's fucked up now. I
Right.
I told you before, Corey, you know me. I don't put up with none of that shit. I call it out. I don't care. Like I said, I told you before. I'll call up Hamas. I'll call up Israel. I'll call out fucking America, Russia. I'll call all of them out. Ukraine does shit. All these fucking people are fucking doing shit. We need to call out what's wrong. As an axiologist, how could I do anything else, right? Shouldn't I be talking about what's of value? Anyways, so going back to the agnostics don't get the part that I start at, which is just like the skeptic, I guess, don't get it. That I start at because there's no reason in the external world to believe in God, like no validation, then I don't give a fuck about the God question.
Sure.
You get it, right? There's a logical thing. So that's apathyism in a sense, that which is kind of a form of atheism, but it's just like you just don't I don't like I wouldn't think in my life, unless some theist was like pushing this shit on me, I would not think in my life, I wonder what God's thinking, or is there a God, or is it her or he, or either five of them, or
if you're like you say, like if you're out in the utter void, you can see, but there's nothing, that's just pure blackness. Right. There's no input that leads you to the conclusion that there is or is not a God.
Right. And if I kept giving you real information and science knowledge at the same time, here's a star, you wouldn't go, oh God.
Right. You go, that's a point of light. What is that?
Oh, right. And I showed you a planet and I said this explained it like we have in science. Right. No one would go, oh my God, it has to be God. Did you see the fallacy? It's just the animism in a sense fallacy. Right. Animism has the belief that things have spirits or souls, right? Because of that, you can get to afterlife, right? Because you have a spirit or soul where it can go somewhere, right? So, and also, of course, if they die, then does the spirit die? You start getting these dumb questions. Well, there was never a spirit, so the whole question was dumb.
Right.
It's a fallacy question. It's like saying, so when Corey dies, what elk will he become? What?
What was somebody said, like, where does the flame go when you blow out a candle?
Right, exactly.
It doesn't. It's gone. it blows out. Like it's not. It doesn't go somewhere else.
But you get what I'm saying. So once you start seeing accuracy, the God thing is not something that would be a natural thing. And if it was, it would be shown, like I said, in the hunter-gatherers. The fact that the belief is so low, it's cultural, of course, like all of it. But like I said, the one that's not 100%, and I also agree, it's just human nature, is animism.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why because also this has some atheists will say, oh, religion is natural, religion is not natural. And I say it isn't natural. Right. Religion is not natural. The in a sense, connected to a religion, just the animistic, like spiritual, non-religious, believe in spirits and afterlives or whatever goes. That animism is what that is. That animism is natural.
Right.
Yeah. So, but I also clarify, but this is the point too. I agree when people say that they're born atheists, that is also accurate. So I'm not contradicting myself. So I'll explain it. You were born without any beliefs. I know, epistemic humility, right? You're not born beliefs. All right, great. Now we've moved on past that. So of course we're an atheist. Everyone's born, so that is accurate. Of course, that's not really, I wouldn't support like, wow, great. So you don't know things makes you an atheist. That isn't really, that's nothing I would be championing. So when atheists like really
ignorance,
I'm like, really? I like to champion reason. So
yeah.
The fact that it's accurate.
Let's not all be babies.
Right. See, right. Isn't that, so you get my point? Like, why would you champion that exactly? Like, I get it. It's true, but the point's not really that great.
It's not a big rallying cry.
Not to me. But so what I'm saying is you're that. But then sometime between that stage and 7 years old, you start to become animistic, maybe 3 to 7 or 5 to 7. I can't remember now, 4 to 7. I don't know, maybe it's 2 to something. I don't know. But anyways, before 7, I do know. that you and of course this is another thing too. It used to be said that all children did this.
Okay.
But they've done more research, and now it's accurate to say a lot or many or maybe even most children do this, but not all. So in other words, Corey could have been born more reasonable and logical or critical thinking or whatever, like me too, and just not think that way. Of course, I was thinking that way, but that's because of culture and religion.
Yeah, I was too when I was that age.
Right. Well,
and even older, but
I'm just making a comment that, it can happen. But so it's hard to also, when you have religious home, because they literally are teaching you animism in a sense with all this other stuff on top of it. Like, to me, like the Christianity equals animism, totemism, shamanism, paganism, and then organized religion is a package, form it together. There you go.
Right.
Christianity. It's a whole bunch of stuff all wrapped in religious ideas, and then because religion is a byproduct of culture to me, just like language.
Right. Yeah,
and have videos explaining if anybody has any doubts of that.
That's right. I was just thinking too, like animism may be natural, but maybe the way that it manifests is cultural, right?
Well, yeah. So yes, I agree. Like, in other words, you may have a thinking that the wind itself, not a spirit, but the wind itself is somehow, like when people say Mother Earth, that may mean just that you think that somehow all nature works together in some kind of harmony. It could be just that, as like you were saying, your animism, or it could be all the way to practically believing in almost in a deity, or that they're or afterlives or something. It just all from, in a sense, animism. Like I said, spiritual, non-religious stuff. Because some people say, some people have a belief in a type of God that I call somethingism, and there actually is a religion in Norway or something where it's called somethingism in their language, Atheist-Humanist-Leftist or whatever.
Interesting.
I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but yeah, actually, I'm not very good at pronouncing most words, but including people's names and everything. Oh, terrible. So I always dread.
I can't say anything. I'm the same way. So.
Oh, I always dread having to say someone's name because I'm like, especially it's something complicated, and I'm like, I'm gonna make it sound terrible.
I'm so sorry. This is going to sound disrespectful, but
right. It's not. It's just I'm good at some things. I mean, really good, and there's other things I suck bad at. And that is definitely one of them, man.
Yeah, that's fair.
But anyway, so when you're thinking about all these ideas, right? So Agnosticism, in a sense, to me, is next. So the first thing you do is you don't care as an axiological atheist. The next thing, because it's a question. So the first question is there any impetus to believe in a God? No. So then I immediately just don't care. The concept someone's talking about, I would just walk away. It's not a subject that matters to me. It's a non-subject. So, and then, but if people say, well, what do you think about God isn't this? And I always think of the same thing. What do you mean by God?
Mm-hmm.
And that's, in a sense, someone tried to say, which I heard an atheist, or maybe it was agnostic, I'm not sure, they didn't say, but they said, agnostic is just being lazy and don't want to, go any farther, or think about things. Really? Coming from an agnostic that says that we can't know things? You think I'm the one that's not thinking? But so, anyways, an agnostic, just going back, it's like the apathyism. I think some people act like apathyism is for idiots or something. I think it's a healthy response that when there's no reason to believe something that you don't believe. It's like people could say that they're atheists about unicorns, right? I have no desire to go care or if I saw someone say, just so I want to tell you this, there was a video or something that said that the moon is a hologram or some bullcrap and the moon's not there, the moon's fake or something. Do you think I spent any effort watching that video?
No.
Right? I start with apathy. I don't even give you time fucking day. It's just, what I'm saying? What?
Yeah, it makes me think. Pam sent me a video yesterday of somebody saying we don't need gravity. It was invented by Sir Isaac Newton, and we don't need it. And I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not interested in this. I don't have. I'm not doing it.
So you get what I'm trying to say. it's at least how I do it. That doesn't mean that every word other someone else may do it totally different. But I'm explaining how it's in the axiological sense, how it's reasonable, and how we get there. Like just it's real fast. As you already seen how I think sometimes, real fast.
Yeah.
It's not like we stay at all these stages. Just so people know, not a lot of contemplation. We just go. There's nothing to inspire the belief in God. Thus, I don't care. And they're like, then someone asks me, hey, do you believe in God? And I'm like, what do you mean by God? So I start right there. I'm already at the stage of just in that answering someone's question with a question. I'm already at Agnosticism. I don't believe what you said because like I told you before, Corey goes, oh, there's a God. And the first thing I think is, what do you mean by God? And they're like, well, it's a supernatural being. And I'm like, what do you mean by supernatural being? And they're like, oh, well, supernatural being is something that is outside of nature. And I'm like, I literally don't know what you're talking about when you say outside of nature.
What does that mean?
So once again, we're back to, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You're talking utter horse crap. So, but that's how, in a sense, so people are like, oh, you're stopping at just because they're saying words. We're stopping because they're offering words without actual meaning in the reality of the world.
Yeah.
And that is what I will not accept. I don't contemplate if something that doesn't even come in this world is fucking real.
Like, what does it mean to be outside of nature or outside of the universe?
Not real.
Right? Not real.
Because if we say something is real, it means
and it's inside
this fucking reality we can understand, which is called nature.
Yeah.
Going back to that, so that's axiology. Now let's go to how we finally get to atheism. We're going to keep going. That's what people atheists hate, is I don't stop at atheism. But axiological atheism doesn't stop at atheism, and I keep telling everybody that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next thing that an axiological atheist does is get to atheism, because now you ask, well, do I believe it? Well, the question, of course, no.
Can I?
Didn't we understand when it was back at apatheism that when you offered dog shit, I just didn't care? And then when you said, well, here's my dog shit, I'm like, what's dog shit? You talking about?
I haven't been offered anything to believe in yet.
See, but that's I'm just saying, as axiological atheists, these are all fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
You offered nothing?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, we clicked off all those. So it keeps going, right? So the next thing it goes, well, if the God concept as offered, because they offered their little bullshit of this is God, then I want to judge as, wow, that's a moral monster.
Right.
It make it simple for you. Not just you, Corey, but I mean the general public. That how I see it is, any deity that demands my slavery is my enemy.
Right.
Period. Right?
No.
And so, because I should be a free being, Corey should be a free being. If we were in the real world and I were to not let Corey have freedom, would that be a good being? No.
That's the bad guy. That's
right. You get what I'm saying? So because of that right there, that just like I heard can't remember his name now. He's a famous atheist. I've met him before and hung out and talked to him. But anyways, because I also don't care that much about the atheist community because they don't care that much about me. So fuck them. No. No. I don't remember names anyways. I'm terrible. But so anyways, but what he said was something like that a Christian thinks, well, without a master, whose slave am I going to be? Right. And that's the mentality of a religious person. Well, Damien, but if I'm not a slave to God, then whose slave will I be? Well, we're trying to tell you that anarchism is the truth. That you need to live in the reality that actually we all own ourselves, and we never should have to be a slave. That obligation to do otherwise.
Yeah, you don't have to be a slave, actually.
See, I start with the world that's exactly that, especially as an axiologist, because everybody's equal as an axiologist, because I grasp the humanity as a value in itself. Yeah. And I grasp they're really all connected. We've been connected for 70,000 years. everybody's ancestor goes back there to southern Africa.
Yeah.
And everybody on the whole planet, there's no one alive today that doesn't have a relative connected to that place. So we're all from Africa. But anyways, my point is just grasping once again, because as axiologists, I got to look at the real world. So grasping that fact, then this thing of all this clannishness, that's all culture. That is not reality.
Yeah.
Just like I do a lot of DNA stuff, right? And I try to say like what DNA, and some people use that to be racist, like those race realist crap bullshit.
Right.
Like literally you have like 5 or 6 different DNAs in you, and that's what makes that what you think is a culture thing.
Right. Yeah.
You know how fucking foolish you sound? And we've seen DNA maps. Boy, they are all over the place. So
yeah, that's right.
It's just like thousands of miles, and it's like, but it's just, that's all I'm trying to say is once I look at that as an axiologist accurately, that's like I said, why it's so easy to get to anarchism to me. I know a lot of them of us are probably on the left, I'm not anarchist, axiologists probably in general. I doubt there's super right wing. There could be. People are fucking ridiculous, but in general, most axiologists care about what is good and valuable. How the fuck do you get to conservative?
Right.
How do you not get to almost socialist anarchist? I mean, communist. I mean, I Marxist. I just don't grasp that. You're fucking somehow just limiting how you do axiology. I'm an axiologist. You know why I use axiology? Everywhere with everyone. Why not? Because I would always ask an axiologist, oh, you don't do that? Don't you think axiology is valuable? Oh, it's very valuable. And why don't you use it all the time if it's so valuable?
Right.
And then I'm wondering if you really grasp its value. But anyways, so going back to the thing. So once you get, so you're an anti-theism in a sense, like people always say. So how you get that? Every axiological atheist is not limited to atheism, just like it's not limited before or after. It doesn't. That's like, we're like, oh, just be an atheist. Oh, I had tons of people tell me. Like I'd propose cat pictures sometimes, and atheists would come tell me, hey, you quit posting cat pictures, just stick to atheism. You get more popular that way. I really don't give a fuck about being popular.
Actually, people fucking love cat pictures. Like,
well, because it's wrong. What it tells you is it's the wrong people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So you're saying that atheists are dickheads and don't like cats?
Right.
Well, I mean, literally, is that not what you're saying? But anyway, here's the thing. So once again, you and me don't be myself. Just like I did have famous atheists tell me that, like Aaron Ra, just to name one person, I said I get picked on a lot for my beard. Tell me I look like a clown, or sometimes the way I do my nails or wear makeup, or whatever the fuck I do. People always talk shit. So they say, oh, if you stop doing that, just were more normal, Damien, you'd have more followers because the stuff you say is good, but you're a freak, and so people don't want to listen to you. Quit telling people you're intersex. Quit telling people you're anarchist. Quit telling, Have I ever
Aaron Ross said that?
No, sorry. No, I was saying
that would surprise me.
No. I said I was telling Aaron Ra this. I told Aaron Ra.
Yeah.
No, sorry if I.
No, I misunderstood your story.
I was saying that I told Aaron Ra this just to explain what he said. Because if I just say what he said, you need to know what I said first. Yeah. So I was explaining to also to the public, but to Aaron Ra, I said this about how my beard and my looks and how I dress, is not too weird or whatever. They want what they want is I can't remember his name. Dave McAfee, right? McAfee. Right?
David McAfee. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, McAfee.
Yeah, young guy, wrote a couple
real
books.
Clean cut looking.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Real clean cut. Talks more, So I'm too aggressive and mean, and you know what I'm saying? Say shit and draw shit that scares people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying. So that I always thought. I thought this was the welcoming, atheist, community.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm welcome if I fucking change. How the fuck's that sound welcoming to you?
If I fit in your cookie cutter, then I get welcomed, and if I don't,
well,
then
and I
screw
think
me,
how many times have I told anyone in the atheist community they have to be not straight-laced?
Yeah.
You know, or tell them that they needed to, you know, be an anarchist.
Right.
I mean, I tell everybody they should be because that's just the fucking logical thing to say.
Right.
But I mean,
it's the correct view.
Right. Like just like when I say everybody should be ethical. To me, these are things that I can say strongly and totally fucking feel it. If you're not an anarchist, I think you're wrong. And because it goes back to, like, I have a whole video on it you can watch about advocating for anarchism to explain my thoughts. But anyways, I'm just saying that to me these are logical things. Just like I said, it's a logical thing. If you're offering a monster god, my feeling is to not think that's a good idea. If that monster god makes you hate people, hate your own children, or even harm or kill your own children or other people, then I know it's a harmful thing.
Yeah. Have you ever encountered a reasonable explanation of how they go from a being that is outside of the universe to a being that acts within the universe?
Have I ever got a good answer? No.
Yeah. No. Okay. No. I kind of didn't think there was one.
So. Well, and this is the thing. When people talk to me, the stupider they are, or I should say uninformed or ignorant, because I don't know why or whatever.
Right.
I don't know if they're just, because I'm not putting people down in a sense, but I know I have a higher intellect and ability to reason than some people. So I don't think just because that's happened that I'm a better person. Right. No, I just have a skill. I'm just, or whatever. And some of that skill, you know, it doesn't matter about what I'm trying to say about a person. When someone is lacking information and says stuff, sometimes, well, it's like to me when people say that they believe this and that about Atlantis, and you could have stopped at Atlantis and said you believe that.
The facts that you are giving me about Atlantis don't matter.
It goes back to the apathyism. Oh God, what the fuck, dude! Don't get any of that on my clothes, okay? Just go away, go farther. I still see you farther. Anyways, I'm just making a comment that some things are so like ridiculous. I don't entertain them. Yeah. To me, at least, I'm just saying because Atlantis was a allegory or a mythology or whatever you want to call it. For people that are, you know, don't know, because they would say mythology is wrong as allegory, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not good at English literature. All I'm just saying is it's an untrue story done for propaganda to motivate political ideas. And somehow people believe this is a real fucking place. I'm like, what the fuck? Do you guys look for Narnia also?
They do the anomaly hunting. They'll go searching through every little thing and they'll find any little statement that might fit their narrative about Atlantis. And they're on a quest for the tiniest bit.
When someone says anything Atlantis, it's like someone saying, I have proof Superman's real. I'm like, oh, it's just, no. I don't know.
No, you don't.
No time to listen to that. But anyway, so you get what I'm trying to say. So, yeah. So once you offer a bad God, of course, there's a logical assumption that this God is evil. I have to be against gods. Right. Gods are this thing where it seems to be that gods give people the ability to then do whatever the fuck they want, horrid, and just say, well, it's my religion, my God. Like I said, there's a Christian, or a religious exemption for child abuse. I told you. I find that to be fucking horrid. Anyone who asks for that, let me explain what you are. Scumbag, piece of shit. You're a scumbag for doing that, and it's a piece of shit you want to hurt kids. Yeah. What the fuck? Someone should fucking seriously do something about the laws. How can you say we're in the country of laws and you don't enforce laws to protect children?
Yeah. No, that's right.
Fucking what? And yet, people care about saying, oh, we need to, make sure trans people don't use the bathroom. I don't know. Isn't there lots of cases of priests, pedophiles? Not a lot of cases of trans people molesting people in women's bathrooms.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't know of an actual case. It's
I don't think there's any
perpetuated
problem.
through
Yeah.
media lots, but I don't think I've ever heard of an actual case of it happening.
Well, because people don't actually care about truth, they care about fear mongering and actual bigotry and hate. So that's just really probably just bigotry and hate, really.
Yeah,
but because just like I told you before, the things we don't understand, we can come to fear. That which we fear, we learn to hate. And that which we hate, we often seek to destroy. And so why I was explaining that is because then it is upon us to try to remove fear of the unknown and the unfamiliar. Because we don't want it to push us or motivate us into the arms of hate and harm.
Yeah.
And anyways, going back to the Gnostic thing. So, or at least explaining Axiological Atheism, and then we'll go finish the Gnostic. Because I understand how I think, then you know why Agnosticism is insane to me. But it's the same as the Atheism, like or someone says, you know, fucking Pinocchio is real. Like, you know how much energy I put into finding if Pinocchio is real? Fucking none.
Zero. Yeah, that's right.
Zero. In fact, I try to stop thinking that you just said that to me. Wasted a minute of my life.
And if possible, I will remove you away from my space.
There you go. Right. The moon is a hologram. Please sit over there.
Where's the button for YouTube not showing me that anymore?
So some of the stuff that people believe is absolutely bonkers to me. I don't even know how they get to this type of a thinking. Like I said, being an axiologist, all this stuff is just one thing after another. So then if I asked you, well, religions promote the God concept, how could I then just stay an anti-theist? And I ask this to all anti-theists, seriously. And they say, well, we hate religions with a theism God. And I go, so do you think that God is what makes the religion as toxic as it is? Or could it be the religion be toxic without a God? Like, oh, religion's toxic. Then you need to be anti-religionist. Just saying, or at least understand that you are. Because if you see that possibility, then you are. Or at least you feel sometimes you are. But I don't want to go into all that because... And then here's another thing. Well, I just wanted to clarify real quick because once I say anti-religionist, people don't understand. Yeah. Anti-religion is anti-religion. Anti-theism is anti-theism.
Right. So and theism is the belief in a God.
In God, a belief in God. The difference is religion doesn't have to be the belief in God. It can be other stuff.
Right.
It could be toxic. Like say goop. I'm against goop. But is it because it's a religion? No, it's because it's fake bullshit scamming people. I'm against that. Yeah. I'm an axiologist. I'm against that which is actively harming others.
Yeah. That's a long list.
Well, yeah. And I know that some people, think, well, I wouldn't say that about native beliefs. Okay. Well, I knew a person when I was a truck driver. I taught him. I'm not going to say, that much about him, but from Arizona, I believe, or New Mexico. So I make it even harder for you to figure it out. But anyway, somewhere from over there, and he was high ranking, I guess, in his tribe or whatever.
Okay.
And so he had clout or name or whatever, like a big person or a chief or something. But yeah, so but because this is what you understand what he's doing. So he told me his brother had cancer, right? So you know about cancer stories, right?
Right.
How people can get remission.
Spontaneous remission. Yeah.
That's right. So his brother gets cancer, and the doctors, they don't know, and he's probably going to die and all this stuff, right? So he tells his brother, no, don't listen to the Western medicine. What you need to do is get back to traditional beliefs. We knew how to heal our people. We need to do real medicine. And so he built a sweat lodge, and his brother went to the sweat lodge. I don't remember how many times, but like a lot, like say like 6 treatments or 10 treatments or something, because they see him as medical treatments. Every sweat lodge, or at least what he was saying. So I don't claim to know what everybody else uses or whatever. I'm just telling you what he directly told me. So anyway, he thinks, and I told him, well, are you sure it's the sweat lodge? What if it's something else? And what if he just had spontaneous? Oh no, absolutely not. See, this is what it is. You white people don't understand because you're so used to only having Western medicine that there's native stuff. It works as well. I'm not going to go into all that because I said a bunch of other stuff, but my point is this. That person then said that his goal to become a truck driver was he actually hates the world. He hates white people. He wanted to go back to his own stuff. He told me this. And just so people understand, I didn't really get offended because if I was Native, I would fucking probably hate white people too. So just saying, I totally. Yep.
He's not actually wrong on that.
I mean, as an axiology too, I'm like, boy, I feel for you. Yeah, fucking white people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, not. But anyways, just to make a point. So I wasn't like thinking, he's an idiot. I was thinking, he probably got a reasonable belief. It's not good to be out in the world. White people suck. You're probably gonna get hurt if you're out here. It's safer to be where you're at. I can't even argue with that. Anyways, so I'm not arguing with that part. That part is accurate. But then what he said is because he was able to heal his brother with these traditional beliefs and believes in his traditional beliefs and believes that they're fading away and nobody's caring. He wants to open, with his money from truck driving, open a whole like bunch of them, or like, what do they call it? Like conglomerate or something or whatever. Startups
franchises?
Or something. Franchises, that's probably, something like that. But anyways, he wanted to like make, because he believes it's a religion. He believes this is true. He believes this is medicine. So he wants to make as many as he can and get as many people into sweat lodges and all this stuff. And that's where I realized that even Native beliefs can be dangerous. So when people say, Damien, you should never attack Native beliefs because their beliefs aren't harming anyone, I'm like, I have a personal experience where I heard a story where it sounded like people were going to get fucking harmed. People were not going to go to Western doctors and we're going to fucking try to get disease cured from sweat lodges.
Right.
So,
I'm
just saying, so
not good, but
well, right. So I'm just, and that's not the same as being disrespectful and putting Native people down for being indigenous or having indigenous beliefs or any bullcrap like that. Right. I'm just saying that logically, I understand that when you have faith and there's no basis to it, it can just go anywhere and harm shit or whatever. Does that mean that because it has no boundaries, it can't do good? Of course, it's no boundaries. But that is a fucking problem. And if you don't see that as a problem,
because like you say, without boundaries, it's not bound by reality. It's not bound by the actual effects on people.
Which makes to me it dangerous and unsafe to use.
Yeah.
Do I use faith? No. I use reason. That's what I use. Well, what if you don't know things? If I don't know things, I look at what it is and I make conjecture, a sort of reasoned speculation about the evidence.
Yeah,
that's what you should do. You shouldn't do more than that, But let's just say that there's more. Like me, Corey, right? I keep building more. Sometimes I have an idea, and then I'll find more. Sometimes I find it debunks it, and I go to something else. But if I don't like follow shit like grandma, it has to be true. I'm just gonna keep believing it. Fuck that shit. But you have to go look, right? You have to have this stuff, and then that's where you make what is reasonable belief or not reasonable belief.
Right.
So is there a place in the middle where we don't know if a belief is reasonable? If I say that harming children is good, can you just see my axiology? Can you show me what the middle position is if I don't know that children are being harmed is bad? Doesn't that sound like then you're not really grasping things?
Yeah. Yeah, like because there is no middle ground, like you say.
Well, also in logic, that's also why this is I think is really funny about. Well, I would need to read this stuff because we need to get to the specifics. But I just wanted to give a background. People also don't understand. It's not a hate fest. I don't hate agnostics. I don't hate skeptics.
Right.
As long as people are reasonable, I like that. I'm a rationalist. I like reason. No matter what you call yourself, you sound reasonable. That appeals to me. Because I'm a rationalist. I like reason. So I'm just making a comment that I don't have any bigotry. This isn't a hate show. Because I know, and I actually am against that. There's atheists, and I've told them. Because there was someone that said, I can't remember, he's a famous, like, did movies or something. I can't remember now who. But a famous, like, producer said this. He's an atheist. And he said, agnosticism is for cowards or something like that.
Okay.
Now, I'm against that. And I think agnosticism is stupid But I'm against that because that itself is just bigotry and stupid.
Right. Yeah.
Because first off, do I know why you're an agnostic? Let's start with what axiology starts with, which is not skepticism. It's nothing. So if I don't know anything, is it safe for me to make any judgment? No. Right? No judgment of that. I can't say, in other words, I can't state it as a fact. Not a judgment is I can't figure if there should be or is a fact involved. It's that I realize I don't want to say about Corey what is wrong or an agnostic. So if say what I meant by that is say Corey's an agnostic, right? And Corey's an agnostic. How could I say that Corey's a coward? You understand that is a judgment on some perceived understanding. Do you understand why everyone? I mean, here's the point. Some people may be a coward. I don't know. How would you fucking know?
You can't make that assumption, right?
Now I could say one person is if I've experienced them and talked to them, but even then, maybe I'm wrong and there's a mental thing. Maybe it's because they're not a coward. Maybe it's because they're going to lose their family if they finally acknowledge that. Or maybe because they're going to lose this sense of self or whatever, because religion makes you think you're like in this trap world. Yeah. That if you don't have God, you're fucking lost.
Yeah.
So that goes back to my thing. So I, as axiologist, understand that everything's very varied. You shouldn't make these blanket things if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So, but it depends. It depends on what your statement is. If your statement is that Corey has no feelings, I don't have to take that as a valid statement because it's so fucking rare that people don't have feelings of any kind.
Right, right.
But that doesn't mean that I close it off because I know it is a possibility. But possibility is something that we already know. That's how you know it's possible because it relates to this other thing.
Yeah.
So when they say, God, you don't know the possibility of God. I know God, possibility of God. It's not possible. How? It doesn't relate to other things that we know is possible. That is how we know it's not possible. Because otherwise the word possibility, go look it up, wouldn't mean that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they go, well, it does probable. Probable is better than a possibility. Probable means it does happen. We just don't know how often.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So once again, but I'm a rationalist and I care about how words mean, you know. So I'm just saying, well, because people, I think people don't get it, Corey. They think a lot of times I just some dick that just says no, real fast or whatever, you know, makes all these quick judgments, right?
Right.
But it's not unthinking judgment. They're just quick axiological judgments because you look at the quality of the value involved and you're like, what the fuck? No.
Yeah, there's not. Yeah, they don't see your process, right? So
they don't. They don't know that in a sense, like ideas. They offered me no money and called it $1 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
yeah, that's right. You're like, you didn't give me anything.
Okay, so you gave me nothing, and you're supposed to now.
And then they're all like, "What do you mean I didn't give you anything? You're being a jerk."
Canadian dollar. You didn't know that, Damien? I'm like, wait. I never got $1, let alone any kind of dollar. In fact, I didn't get a penny. I didn't get anything. I got nothing. And
you gave me nothing.
Canadian dollar, like God, right? A Canadian dollar. Of course, it's the one with watermark something on it. Wait,
yeah.
Whoa! You never even validated money, let alone in what country. You know, you just start talking nonsense. I'm just like, what the fuck? It's no different than the God concept. It's literally no different.
Right. Yeah.
So, like I said, let's start the thing. But
sure.
I think that kind of helps, like, work into this and get my thinking out.
Okay, so we're reading the blog Atheist Addressing Agnostic Errors. Yep. And it starts off with a picture with text that says, "No, you are wrong on truth claims agnostic. A theist believing in claims devoid of evidence, faith claims, are not the same as an atheist disbelieving in claims devoid of evidence."
Right. And you don't. What do you think about that, Corey?
I think that's dead on. I think that I've had that exact argument with people who claimed agnosticism as the right perspective. And I'd be like, but no, it's not the same thing. They're making claims. And I'm just saying, I don't believe you.
Right. And they also get mad because they go, oh, every atheist is a weak atheist. I said, oh, I'm a strong atheist. No, that's not accurate.
Yeah.
So we don't claim to know. I said, I do know. I do know that every single claim offered by theists is going to logically fail. That I know. And it will not stand the test of science, nor will it stand the test of reality or even logical fucking thought.
Yeah.
So,
well, you'll see it when you die.
I do know. What you mean is, I don't say I have some external knowledge. Yeah. I have logical understanding that this is, I know this. And then this I laugh too, as some agnostics will go, yeah, well, you don't know. And I'm like, so what you're saying is logical evidence doesn't count. But if that is true, then how come you guys always talk about logical fallacies? Is a logical fallacy not true? Is it not proven? Because if it's true, then it's been proven, correct?
Yeah.
If it's true and proven, then it has to be something accurate in the reality of the world, correct?
Yeah.
Or it wouldn't be logical. Anyways, so just trying to help the people grasp like how I see. Like I don't understand. How are you missing this? This seems like. But anyways, so what they'll in a sense try to say is that, you know, I can't know things. Well, I do know things. I do know that if we look at the accuracy of the world, right? The accuracy of the world, that 99% of the population of life on Earth has fucking died. 99%. That means literally almost everything that's ever been alive on this earth is now dead.
Yeah.
If you call that an intelligent design, then you're a fucking fool. There's nothing fucking intelligent about 99% failure.
Yeah.
Okay? Nothing. So, going back to like what I'm trying to say, this I can look at they act as if I cannot make logical assumptions about the world we're living in. This is inaccurate. So I feel like, to me, a lot of people's agnosticism or even some people's skepticism is actually anti-intellectualism.
Right.
That they demand that we all stop at, well, I don't know. Like somehow that's just the glory.
Yeah, that's the end, right?
Yeah. Right at the end. I'm like, okay, if that's the end for you, okay, fine. But how could that possibly, once again, the same with the Axiological Atheism. So let me just finish it too. So it doesn't stop actually at anti-religionism, right? In a sense, it keeps going, because then it says, okay, if religion, because people don't grasp this by axiology atheism, it's value and disvalue. So it goes, okay, wait a minute, if all this stuff is disvalue, right? That doesn't mean axiology's literal goal is what's good, so it cares about what's valuable. So now that it's decided all those are negatives. That's why there's no information. That's why I was an apatheist. The information once offered was ridiculous, so I became agnostic. And then you ask me, do I believe nonsense? No, of course not. I'm atheist. And then, well, these nonsense things believe that you should die and burn in hell. Holy fuck, these things are.
So now I'm anti those nonsense beliefs.
And then when religions promote them constantly, oh fuck, I'm anti-religionist. And then the next question is not to keep going on that. It's now that I figured out all this falsehood. What is good, right? It doesn't stop at just what I don't believe. It says, then what should I believe? Well, I should believe in what is good, what is beneficial, what is just, which is right, which is ethical, which is, human flourishing, which is beneficial, which is caring, which is kind. I mean, I should be focusing on these things. So that's why when I focus on them, that's not against my atheism. That literally is my atheism.
Yeah.
And so, you're trying to put things together and that's humanism, Damien. Well, I wouldn't disagree. It's part of humanism, but that's also axiological atheism. You need to grasp this. Because when people try to say atheism, they want to limit it to what they think atheism is. Okay, and even if it is, your stuff is that. Mine isn't.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's what I keep trying to say. I'm not. I'm an axiological atheist. It's a whole. It's like a web of positions. It's not one position and then you're done. Over. So immediately it starts. I should be a feminist. I should be caring about queer people. I should be caring about justice for people that are poor. I should be caring about people that are in other countries. I should care about people that are disabilities, people that are born in other places that have known resources. They need help with it. What I try to say is, in general, is all these humanitarian things are part of axiological atheism. There's no inconsistency at all. In fact, if you don't do those, that would be inconsistent. than
Yeah,
axiological
right.
atheists. Because I'm just trying to say it to people who don't grasp this. It's not an extra. You cannot be an axiological atheist and not be a humanist. You can't be an axiological atheist and say you're an anti-feminist. What the fuck are you talking about? So, because you have to be, or to me, I personally feel, I don't know how you're an axiological atheist and you're also not anti-capitalist. You're literally supposed to not care about supporting oppression.
Right.
So,
yeah, because you, like you say, you have to ask yourself what is good, and therefore,
what is good? Right? What is good? So this stuff of like, so obviously then me being an activist where I constantly say atheist stuff and queer stuff and feminist stuff and anarchist stuff and humanist stuff together as one unit is very consistent with who I am. And also what I mean by who I am, I mean axiological atheism. So me being kind and promoting kindness is not, I've stepped out to kindness. I'm just being an axiological atheist. That literally is what it is supposed to be. What like I told you before, Corey, what I'm trying to show people is the way that I am is literally what you should be. I try to live what it is, how to act, how to care. Should people be treated as unequal? What? No. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Like I said, should we allow homeless in the street? I don't know how an axiological atheist would go, oh, that's totally okay. What, the human suffering? Hell no. Just like I feel like as an axiological atheist, you should understand, just like an anarchist understands the same point. That's why I feel like it just merges together, because all of what I am is that all these things really are not divergent. They're really connected.
Yeah.
So that you look at things, like I said, is there people of value? Who? Well, you immediately go, well, everybody. That's also why I told you before that I don't, not because I don't, feel connected to people. I don't use a comrade or whatever. I see everyone as a dignity being. Corey, I don't want to stop seeing people that way. Even people I hate. I just, it's hard to do that because we like to be justified in hate. We do. We fucking love it. Absolutely. We like swim in that shit. And it's sickening and wrong. We shouldn't do that. That's not a healthy mind. So, like, in other words, people could say, oh, well, because of how Israel is, they deserve to be tortured like that. People. No. Or that Israel deserves to slaughter all the Gazans because, fuck it, somebody slaughtered them. No, both these are fuck no. They're just saying there's not right and wrong. Wrong. Because people are valuable and people are dignity beings, and we should not do that.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing as consent. Why does consent matter? Because people are fucking dignity beings and they should be respected.
Yeah.
So how is that inconsistent that consent should something matter to an axiological atheist? Because don't I want to do what is good? Well, then I should follow consent. This is not just, so people understand too, not just sexual. I didn't mention the word sex. I mean consent in general, right?
Right. Yeah. That's
not even to be just to even touched. But ideas, like I told about Corey, I have the ability to force people or motivate them in a very heavy way. Maybe not force is the wrong word. Motivate in a heavy way that they're not doing everything that on their own. That I can actually walk people into thinking things or beliefs or whatever. I understand how to do it. Or even actually, I really could walk them out of it. And I've done that too. But I feel that if it's wrong, then that's fair for me to do it because it's help. It's not like abusive. I'm forcing you to,
Right.
But that's also why I try to force myself to stick to just sticking to reason. Let reason do the work. So I think I've told you before that I believe in people. So I try to do that. And it's also why my name is AtHope. Because it's a state of being I want to be in. Hopeful. Because people don't realize that, and someone's actually argued with me before. I was like, dude, there's psychology that proves that hope helps you heal your body. Hope helps you gather your thoughts more clearly, because like when you get depressed, your thoughts become all cluttered and you just feel out of sorts. When you feel hopeful, it like hones things in, and even your troubles, you're able to actually manage them better because of like a focusing and because like when you're in anxiety, you're worried about the anxiety and the thing. So you have two things to worry about. It's hard to focus. to
Yeah,
anybody.
and if you start piling things on top of it, like
Right, different kinds of anxiety for home, anxiety for work, anxiety for school, anxiety for what show, or you start having it in your own self and your own needs, other people's needs, all these things. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, is it's defined to understand all that. But when you understand all that, also you understand that then everyone's like that, right? Everybody feels this way. We should all grasp that feelings are something that happens all the time. That's why this, which I feel is toxic atheism, and a lot of it's probably these, well, I don't even know that you know more. Probably could explain why or what group they belong to. I don't know, because I don't really. I just have people like interact with me and like, what the fuck, and then they, I don't. I'm saying, I'm like studying, prehistory, and they'll sometimes talking about atheism or whatever, and then have someone atheists attacking me, and then I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know their whole bullshit. I haven't watched all their videos. I don't, that's what I'm, so I'm like, I don't know, but I'll just say that it feels to me, it's like this, only me matters.
right.
Or as long as I only care about myself, I'm good, or some bullshit. It reminds me of individualism, as I say, but
yeah.
If there's groups that get, then they're anti-feminist, or they say, well, I'm not a feminist. They won't say I'm not anti, but I'm not. I'm like,
They'll even, there's even groups like that will like try to keep feminism out of humanism, and they'll be like, we're a humanist organization.
Ridiculous. I thought you said out of atheism, out of humanism. Oh my God. If your humanism doesn't have feminism, you don't have humanism. What the
That's
fuck
right. You're doing it wrong.
But no, so I understand that some atheists, not mine, but some kinds of atheists, it could be atheist but doesn't have feminism. Mine can't be that. But I'm saying same with humanism. I don't know how humanism could do that. No, wrong. I explained to that before. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. No. Anyways, I'm not going to go on that. Let's just keep reading.
Sure.
You keep reading.
So we got theists. There has to be a God, as something cannot come from nothing.
Right. This is a fallacy of what again? We already talked about it. Animism. The belief that there has to be magic.
Right.
No. There's no reason to think that. None.
It's not actually like justified.
On every level, the Big Bang. Okay, so all we see is a whole bunch of things happening, but there's no magic at any level, at any time of the entire process. None. Yeah. So it's not logical to even.
Well, where did it start? Well, we don't know that yet.
Well, you could say there was a car, and that was actually a backfire, and in the whole universe.
Yeah, it's just as
how ridiculous it is. Shut up! You would say, shut up. And actually, it was the Flintstones, so just telling you, it was foot power. I'm just making a joke, but the point is, you cannot say any bullshit like that. You're offering fucking nonsense. It goes back to the Agnosticism. You're offering shit that doesn't even match reason.
Yeah.
No. So, and I'd say, just to make that point, so people don't grasp it. No, it's like I was said to Matt Dillon. No, we do not have a reason to assume God. No. What do you mean by God? We assume magic. Is that what you mean? Supernatural? Yeah. Superstition? What? We should always assume superstition? Always superstition is possible. Better bring a rabbit's foot or that thing won't work. I mean, come on. No. I'm just saying, no.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You can read more.
Okay. Well, thus something unknown happened, and then there was something. This does not tell us what the something that may have been involved with something coming from nothing. A supposed first cause, thus something unknown, happened, and then there was something, is not an open invitation to claim it as known. Neither is it justified to call or label such an unknown as anything, especially in unsubstantiated magical thinking, belief born of mythology and religious storytelling.
Corey's like, I don't agree with that at all.
That's pretty plain. I don't know. We don't know, therefore, this thing that I think is
right. You see, that's what goes. That's also why I spent so much time trying to explain how Axiological Atheism starts at nothing, but then doesn't make dumb fuck, decisions like, oh, maybe Stay Puft the Marshmallow Man is real.
Right.
That is literally the one who magically is keeping all my marshmallows plump. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
I'm just making a comment. So, do I have to spend epistemic time, pondering the reality of Stay Puft the Marshmallow Man?
I don't think so.
No, right? I mean, to me, it's when people offer gods like it's just that ridiculous. Or any magical anything. There's no reason to even know what do you mean by magic, except for stories. The only reason we know dragons is because stories, art. People drew shit, made shit up. People are creative. I'm creative too, but
yeah, for sure.
No reason to worship me either. All right, let's read the atheist addressing agnostic errors.
Okay, so point 1, you can't prove a negative. Point 2, logical internal evidence is not real evidence if not related to or with external confirmed evidence. Point 3, there is no absolute certainty, thus there is no certainty. Point 4, rejection of beliefs without evidence is the same as beliefs without evidence.
By the way, I'm just listing, these are agnostic errors.
These are the errors.
To make all these arguments.
Yeah, these are the errors.
These are the errors. I'm trying to make it like, instead of like sometimes I talk long without giving you like a list of like, so what we're talking about, just so you know that a lot of the stuff we've been talking about really relates to these type of errors, that all these are wrong. If you say any of this, it's wrong.
Yeah. The only logical choice is agnosticism in the God question. And then the last point is you must choose either agnostic, a claim of unsureness to believe or reject, professed lack of evidence or believe or disbelieve, or gnostic, claim of sureness to reject or believe, professed belief in evidence or belief, or to believe or disbelieve in the God question.
Right, and I've already showed how atheism can be reasonable, and how Agnosticism can be reasonable. Agnosticism with an I, not an A, and how they can both be reasonable. And so automatically that means that the only reasonable one can't just be agnosticism, even if it was reasonable. And I don't think it is, but even if it was.
Right, it's still not the only option.
There you go. So it's still a total fallacy to say it's the only thing when literally it's not the only thing.
Yeah, for sure. So you've got I see you, religion, resisting needed correction to your unscientific supernatural theorizing, and thanks for having our backs. Science. By science being willing to address needed changes relational to the most valid and reliable reason and evidence. A failed burden of proof is the God talk's most unaddressed part. You cannot prove one thing about the term God other than people choosing to believe it has any meaning at all.
Theists, right. Stop right there. Don't you agree, or how do you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's 100% true. Like, there is no.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's just nothing to believe about it except that people believe it.
Right. Everything they try to offer as some kind of fact that proves that is just a belief.
Yeah.
Even when they say, well, God is vast, you just, and how did you get to that? And how do you confirm that? And how do you prove that? It's just a bunch of nonsense. That's what I'm saying. Go back to Agnosticism. You're just talking nonsense.
Yeah.
You think you're talking, reason. Or people will say, oh, Damien, when someone says this to me, I know God's real. I see it, God in a child's smile. And I said, so I have a question. Then does a child's frown mean the devil's real? I mean, this is just animistic thinking. You're
look at the sky. How beautiful the sky.
Right. It has to be God. How can the sky be that beautiful? Well, actually, your sense of awe is what makes it beautiful. If you probably didn't have that. What I think is interesting, too, is that people talk about religion being natural or try to push the atheist, or someone has to have a religion like to fill a hole. Like, whose master are you going to be, right? So like somehow it's part of us or something, or people spiritual. They try to say that, oh, everyone has to, touch with their spiritual side. So no, I have a video where I actually confront this psychologist in a class I was trying to learn from. And he's like, oh, well, Damien, even you as an atheist, can be spiritual. I'm like, yeah, but I don't believe the word spiritual means anything.
Yeah.
And then the other counselor looks at the guy and goes, you didn't listen to Damien, did you? But anyway, so
Yeah.
yeah. So it just shows even psychologists that, can also have tons of biases, like all of us.
Yep, that's right.
And also, let's say a lot of people try to use that though sometimes as like a way as a to like debunk, like say me or something. Like Damien, you have biases, so your thoughts can't be reasonable, right? That's
Yes,
actually
and you don't, right? Like,
oh, but
the person
so
you're
no,
talking
but
to.
if that
Yeah.
was true, that you're meaning this, you don't know me, like the person, right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
meaning this. Everyone has biases, right? Well, there's science that can prove how much biases people have, but this is the point that. But you still believe that science did that test and proved something, right?
Yeah.
So
right.
you show that even with biases, that if someone could take a test and prove biases, means that science or reason can be trusted, even if people have biases. And that has to be accurate since you trust the study on biases. Otherwise, see, you have to see the problem. The moment that you stop trusting the science, then you have no evidence that there are biases.
You have no leg to stand on. Yeah.
This goes back to me when people say that the external logical evidence doesn't debunk God, isn't evidence. Then no logical statement is evidence. Then there isn't logic.
Right.
Then you're just talking. But at least to me, I mean, it's just those statements are just not accurate. So, trying to help people understand, we're just trying to help people think better.
Yeah, exactly.
And I understand that people feel like they're losing something, but you're not. You're gaining yourself that you never had because you've been living this whole life that someone else created for you.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even for your betterment. It wasn't like some healthy, caring person decided to, guide you into some better way. No,
Right.
it's literally not a better way. It's a lie. It's not even true, and it's been forced on you. Yeah, how can that be a good thing?
Yeah, and it's like you say, like it's even you don't know how fulfilled your life can be without this imposed belief system on you.
But so in axiology, I can already say that statement that you said, I don't even have to know any answer. The fact that you could think that all your life's meaning would be gone just by that one idea being gone,
Right.
shows how toxic it is. Oh my God, it's ruining your whole life.
Yeah.
How big of a deal it is, I don't know. You're saying you can't think of life without it.
Yeah.
That literally shows how fucking toxic it is. It's made you not believe in yourself.
Yep.
Right? Literally.
Yeah, for sure.
So when people say, oh, we need God to save us, that to me sounds toxic. I don't need God to do anything. What I need is to have our freedom and allow to do. We together can do it, right? That's why humanism to me is. It's in a sense people helping people through human needs, in human means, and in ways that are also not appealing to some supernatural or nature, magic or whatever.
Yeah.
They're appealing to help. So it seems I feel like that's. I know there's people that are religious anarchists, but I feel like that's also part of anarchism. Because to me, we realize that the world isn't good. It's like people are like, well, why be kind? Because I realize the world needs it and it doesn't have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so because think of this, that people understand, like psychologically, so they can grasp why. Because why, Corey? Why should we all be fucking Nazis and go kill people? Do you know what happens when people do that, though, really? It actually hurts them inside.
Yeah.
They don't have well-being. It doesn't produce well-being. It doesn't produce human flourishing. It wouldn't. Even if we let it happen, it wouldn't.
Because
Not
it
even
never
Hitler.
ends there, right?
Not
Like
even, I'm saying, not even Hitler.
Yeah.
Even if Hitler wouldn't have shot himself, he had terrible time in marriages. He had all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
Besides anything else, I'm just making a comment because people, there's this balance that we need. We need too big amounts of these two things, and then we feel human flourishing in a sense, or whatever. Comfort and safety. We need these two things. You can't just only have one. Like say comfort. right? Some people think only comfort. Well, if you say you're a drug dealer or something, you have tons of comfort, right? No fucking safety at all.
Yeah.
Literally, everyone wants to take you out. They get paranoid. The higher they get, the more they kill because they're more fucking paranoid, or they get whacked themselves. But it goes back to the same thing, that you don't have safety. So is that really the life that everyone would, in a sense, want to be? No.
Right.
Right. So this is, I think, a fallacy too. They try to do about anarchism, that somehow we won't have any more safety. This isn't safe now. Cops literally stop you, the people that are supposed to be, and kill you in the fucking street.
Yeah.
Because you did a turn signal bad.
Yeah. It's
or whatever.
I mean, it's not safe now, and most of us don't have comfort. So
well, yeah, you're true. But I'm just trying to make it, going back to one thing at a time. You're right, Corey. But I'm trying to slow it down. So
sure.
Yes, of course they go together. I said in the beginning, it's together. Comfort and safety. They have to be. And in fact, the more equal amounts they are, the more we feel this well-being, this sense of just ease and comfort. Just this really like when you see something you really like, for a moment the world's gone and you're just happy about that thing.
Right.
It's like you're lost. But that's how, in a sense, I'm saying happens in your life, this well-being, when you have safety and comfort. So you can't have just safety too. What if you, like some people, you don't ever have human interaction, because then you won't be hurt. Because if you never love, you're never hurt. Well, if you never love, you also never loved. And that's a fucked up feeling.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, so once again, because it's about this balance, but the balance is about safety and comfort. And that's why I think, to me, solidarity, like, people don't understand, like, why do I try to reach out also to so many other people? I care. Aren't these dignity beings? Whether they're liberals or whether they're, to me, tankies,
right.
communists that want to go and fucking shoot people. I don't agree with either of these people, really.
Right.
But I care about them. And I want to be an example. So to me, like it's one anarchist, I can't have solidarity with someone who thinks so opposite of what I say. Like, yeah, see, but that's the problem. I don't have solidarity with their ideas. Once again, I see them as a dignity being.
Yeah.
I have solidarity with them as a dignity being. And that's why I keep trying to explain how I see things is just different. I don't see it in the way that other people do. This is another dignity being. They're wrong in their ideas, and I should help them. I should care about them, or I should at least be an example. And I told you, I've had Marxist Leninists, tankies, even share some of my stuff or like some ideas. So this is another thing too, though. And I am not saying every anarchist has this obligation, but every anarcho-humanist does.
Right.
Because, like I told you, I'm an anarcho-humanist, not just an anarchist. Because just like an atheist, I'm not just an atheist, because there's all kinds of atheists. I got to clarify. Whoa, got to clarify. No, not like every other atheist. No. And I'm not a new atheist. I'm an axiological atheist. Don't say I'm something I'm not. That's what I am. Accurately, go look it up. I explain it as many ways possible.
Yeah.
You don't straw man me and all this other bullshit. So, because you don't know what I'm talking about. Not because I'm an error, because you are about what I am.
Yeah.
But the same thing with an anarchist. The kind of anarchist I am is I'm an anarcho-humanist. And for people who have maybe not seen other videos, what I mean by that is that anarchism for me is my no masters, no gods. Nothing is over me. A god is a label, a title of authority, right? Like master. Because the name God actually isn't the deity's name, right? It's a classic
title or whatever. Yeah.
Title of hierarchy, right?
Yeah.
It's the fucker on top, right? God first and family next and then country, right? It's a fucking hierarchy.
Or if you go into like what are the polytheistic religions, they have like the high gods and the demigods,
high gods,
and
low
whatnot.
gods. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wasn't going to go into all that, but that's a good point too. Yes, it's the same thing, hierarchy. My point is, I'm saying it's still the gods. Low gods are a lot better than high gods, but because low gods are more like what people would think of generally, kind of like is deities that were like your guardian angel, in a sense, sort of like that. So Because that's another problem is atheists don't really know there's different like kinds of deities that do different kinds of things. And so they make the statement they're all the same. That's not exactly accurate. Which we have. We're going to do some more videos too where I explain and break down gods so people understand them a little bit. But at least how I see it so you can grasp. Because like once you understand, I think my ideas, then all of it starts to be a lot easier to understand.
Right.
It doesn't seem so confusing like it can at first when you're starting to research. But let's read some more because we need to get some reading done because I don't want to make this too long of a video. But I'm just saying I like to add my input because I think my ideas sometimes are so different in how I process than other people. If you read that and you think the way you maybe think or other people think, it could be wrong because I'm different. So,
for sure.
I know you know that, Corey, because you've had many experiences with me.
Yeah. We've done a few videos together now.
Few videos. Wouldn't you say so I would say actually I shouldn't lead the question. I say people do this too. They lead questions. They'll say like, don't you think I'm this? Well, so it's a yes or no question. And the way I'm leading it, don't you think? It means that I think you do think this. It's a leading question. Better to make it non-leading and just saying, how do you feel about my atheism?
Well, I think it's well reasoned. I would say that it's well, and I mean I don't think about atheism that much, because it seems like such an obvious question. But as I think that yours, coming from the axiological perspective, incorporating the various social justice viewpoints that you do after you've eliminated, after you've become anti-religionist,
right?
I think that all makes perfect sense to me. And
right. So actually, there's one more thing I stopped before humanism.
Oh, yeah.
So you understand how you got to operate in the world as humanism because humans are valuable, just like all these other stuff I've been talking about. So once things are valuable, though, then you learn something else. Some people are religious. Some people will always be theist. Now, what do we do? See that you understand how axiology is answering all these questions.
Yeah.
That's why I said it's like a web of things. It's one thing, but I'm trying to break it down to people grasp why it thinks these different things. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like the acknowledgement that this, like, even as I will spend time arguing against their ideas, there's still people who are valuable and they have these ideas I disagree with.
And how could you not come to that position?
Yeah.
And be an axiologist at all? Literally care about what's good. Treating people good, it literally is important. That's why I told you before. I have super strong disbeliefs, but my humanism is even stronger.
Yeah.
So, because that's the same thing. I realize, how should I act? Well, I should act secular. So to me, because in a sense, secularism is the only way we can honor the dignity of others.
Yeah.
Right. And that is the point. And the same thing, like, why would you do social justice? It's not because I care about the word social justice or any or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make you say it's just because all these things are just part of what axiology is.
Yeah.
Because once you grasp, it cares about what is valuable, what is good, what is true, what is accurate, what is beneficial, what is ethical. All this matters. But then, like I said, it doesn't stop at just the good. It cares about all the bad too. And it goes, we need to fight that shit too.
Yeah.
That's why, to me, people don't grasp. Like I told you, in theistic academia, who write about axiology, they consider axiological atheism. I told you before, and we'll read it one of these times. But they actually say, and because I take a screenshot or whatever, they say that axiology is the worst form of atheism because it's the only one that's actually judging God. And also, like I told you, it also doesn't, like, say if you were ever to prove God real, an axiological atheist would then believe God, but axiological atheism doesn't mean exactly the belief part. It's so many other things. So It doesn't disappear just because now I believe. It just goes, okay, that one part is true, but it doesn't stop judging that being.
Yeah, it's like the old question, like, well, what do you do when you meet St. Peter or whatever, and you go, I still say the same things. Why the fuck if I'm confronted by God after I die, I still say the same things. Why is there cancer in children? Why do these things exist? Why is there death? Why is there famine? What is all this bullshit? Like,
right, but that's an open-ended skeptic question. My value judgment would be that those should be valuized. In other words, why do you let this stuff happen to children like cancer?
Yeah.
How can you justify yourself as a loving God if cancer in children is a fucking thing?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? How you can? I'm just saying you value-wise. It's not just a skeptic. I don't know. Tell me. It's that you've already decided that is unethical.
Well, and I have already decided.
Right? But that is the axiological judgment, though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help people grasp what I mean by axiological. You made the judgment that is not good.
Yeah.
You're not questioning. You're not saying, "Hey, God, the child cancer. What happened with that?" And in other words, as if you don't know it's bad, and you're thinking, "Could you explain that?" Because
it's more like,
"Well, you see,
what the fuck is wrong with you?"
My balls itched, and then children got cancer. It was this freaky thing, and you're gonna go, oh well, then if your balls itch, well, fuck, then the child cancer, the child suffering and dying makes total fucking no sense at all.
No sense at all.
But anyways, my point is, you've already. I'm just trying to show how, like, I see things like in layers of thinking, like how you're doing things, like. That's why, to me, the presuppositional apologetics, I understand a presuppositions because that's literally, I see all those layers of thinking.
Right.
But they're thinking that somehow that equals God is just as ludicrous as every other ludicrous fucking. Because there's presuppositions, God's real. What the fuck?
Worse, even.
Worse to talk to, that's for fucking sure.
Yeah, that's right.
But you get what I'm saying. So of course there's a value you've already made. You've already actually come to the conclusion. Just like I try to explain, like, to me, morality, and inside of morality is your values, because that's what leads to everything else. Because you value children's life and not being harmed, you're of course against people raping them, right? Killing them, torturing them, spanking them, whatever the fuck. All this is not fucking good. You're hurting children.
Yeah. So
to me, I'm just saying. So, but all of that's from the value children shouldn't be hurt. It's not spanking the value or hitting or rape exactly, or maybe for some people. But it's easier to go for the real value that a child is a dignity being that owns themselves. But see, this also means that you shouldn't be forcing your religion on them. That doesn't mean I think that people don't have a right to talk about their ideas. Like, say, me and Corey, right? Do you believe me and Corey can talk about our ideas and actually not forcing each other? I say I'm an anarcho-humanist. I say I'm an axiologist. Corey doesn't say this. Does that mean that I have to force him, or somehow that just me talking about it forces him?
Yeah, like I still use the word skeptic to describe myself.
Right. Exactly. Right, and I never do. I say I'm a rationalist, not a skeptic.
Yeah.
The only reason I say not a skeptic is everyone always goes, "You're a skeptic." Well, no, I'm not. And then they try to think I am, and I try to talk to them, and they sometimes understand. But that's why I'm saying, you've experienced. My ideas are really kind of in depth, but they're reasonable. And so people don't grasp like how I think. They think, well, I got to be wrong. No, I'm not wrong.
You just actually have to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah, if you listen to the whole thing, like if they think, oh, I'm wrong about religion. You didn't watch my 3-hour video on religion, did you? You did. You might think I know a thing or two about religion.
Yeah.
But so the whole point though is it's about thinking. That's also, like I said, what irritates me. When someone says messed up, irritating things, logically, it's irritating to me. It's not that I hate the person. That's all I was trying to say about agnosticism. Let's keep reading.
Sure. Theists don't even universally agree to even begin to make gods probable. There is no absolute certainty in philosophy. There is only psychological certainty, what one believes, or epistemic certainty, meaning what evidence represents or relates to. There is no evidence of God anything. Thus, one can be epistemically certain that all God something claims fail. Theism is belief in a God or gods. Active choice belief or active choice belief. Atheism is not having a belief in God or gods. This is true if one never heard stories of gods, not choosing atheism, or being unsure, or making the choice to not believe is a kind or style of atheism. I like that.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Well, you know me, I tried to explain stuff. I mean, it's like some philosophers to me try to impress people with how many words they can use, or how many people they can quote, or how much they can make shit sound the most confusing as possible. It feels like, even when I hear people, if you ever read, you need to read one time just so you can like see someone else besides me talk about axiology and good thinking against religion. You should read the Axiology Doctor, or we can watch the video too, because me and him talk back and forth, and I think that would help you too, because he's a formal axiologist, meaning he does scientific, provable axiology.
Okay.
So it's also interesting because you have a philosopher and a scientist, axiologist, both of us atheists, both of us are communist socialists. So I mean, I think it's one of an amazing video. It has 10,000 views.
Nice.
So I mean, it's my one friend who didn't like me using axiology all the time. He ended up watching and he said that's the best morality video I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
He said, nice. Well, because two axiologists, and that's what we're good at, is talking about ethics and thinking about reason and stuff and breaking things down. And we were just flowing, man. Because I had like a whole list of this philosopher theist who tries to debunk atheist morality. So me and him just read through the list and explained from our own atheist or axiology atheist perspective why all these were horseshit. Right. And that's what I said. It's an absolute amazing video. Because I thought we should make it hard for us. This guy thinks he's made the hardest, because he says no atheist can do that. Oh, good. We'll take that. You made the hardest shit for ethics. That's what we're gonna do. So that's what that video is on. I think it's great. I was really happy.
Right on.
But anyways, the point is that it doesn't. You don't have to be like that. Like I said, like him. I think that helps, because if you, as I was gonna say too, I want you to read the article he wrote about how religion is attacking science by attacking axiology, making because axiology should be science. Is what he says too. It should be science. What the hell?
Yeah.
When you mean attacking science, what the hell's wrong with you? Anyway, so my point is, but if you read through that, I mean, a lot of it's good, but a couple times he does calculus and stuff with the axiology, because that's how you make it scientific. It has to be a formula. I'm not good at calculus, so I don't do it that way. But still, it's a great video, and he explains, a little more about the stuff. But it's good. Something that it would help you. Like I was just saying, it would help you hear the perspective from a scientist axiologist, not a philosopher.
Yeah, I'll definitely give that a read and
just saying,
and watch that video.
Yeah, I was just saying, because I've only given you, in a sense, my thing, which is more philosophy. Like he in the video says, I'm really good. He goes, wow, you're really good at axiology. Well, yeah, but I'm the philosopher at one, and he's the scientist one. But I think it's actually amazing because we're different, but once again, because it's axiology, you almost come to the same conclusions.
Right. Yeah. Because you're using that like sort of methodology, right?
The method we both start with, I don't know. We use reality, and then we make the most logical assumptions from that. So yes, we've almost come to the same stuff. Yeah. That's why he said, wow, you're really good at this. Yeah, well, I'm just using the reason version.
Right.
But that also made me realize that I needed to, that's what I've done actually, is simplify a lot of this stuff for other people so they can use axiology equally as
right,
without having to know how to create it like I do, to be able to think that way. But just explain it's once you it's like I said, how do you start to be an anarchist society? Well, if everyone owns themselves, well, I don't know that all of us have rights. Nobody should be a master over anybody. It's just the logical thing. So like we were talking before, you can't have capitalism because it's just another hierarchy.
Yeah, because that places people above each other. Yeah.
And they say, "Oh, we have to have a market system." I'm like, okay, so you mean a fair wage, right?
Yeah, you can have markets, but just not capitalism.
But we go, well, what's a fair wage? And I'm like, I don't know. How much do you think you should be paid? Well, I should be paid. Like, that reminded me of this one person I talked to before, because he was talking about the minimum wage, because they were saying it has to be 15, right? And I said, yeah, I agree. 15 is not enough money, because he was all mad it was too much. Right? And I was like, oh no, I agree with you. 15 is wrong, but it's actually not enough money.
Yeah, that's right.
It should be $30 an hour. I only make 21 or something. Bull crap.
Well, then you should make more.
It took me 10 years to get there. Blah, blah. And I've said, and you agree that's wrong, right? See, this is, if I told you this whole 10 years you could have $30 an hour, wouldn't that have been better?
Yeah.
They just don't think like, isn't that fair? See, you start to like going back to the fair, right? Because it was axiology. Because why we use actual things. What's fair? I don't know. What's actually fucking fair? That's what's fair. What's fair mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. So, I want a fair. So that's why I laugh when people don't understand. I want a fair system. Period. Yeah.
You know what fair is. Everybody knows what fair is.
Fair. So my point is, that's all I was trying to say is, if you say it has to be Marxist-Leninist, well, then it has to be fair.
Yeah.
If you say it, just trying to get to my point, if you say it has to be liberal, then it has to be fair. And if you can't get that ethic, then you're right. We shouldn't hang out.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah.
Right. Right. Because I'm an anarchist and it has to be ethical, right? Also.
Yeah.
But that is no different than my axiological atheism. It says we have to have an ethical and helpful society. So it literally goes together quite nicely, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's keep reading so we can help people.
People don't commonly teach religious history, even that of their own claimed religion. No, rather they teach a limited, their religion history of their religion from a religious perspective favorable to the religion of choice. Do you truly think religious belief is only a matter of some personal choice? Do you not see how cursive one's world of choice is? Oh, coercive. Okay.
Yeah. If I spelled it wrong, I mean coercive is in like manipulative.
Right.
Forceful,
Yeah, that makes sense. One's world of choice is limited to the obvious hereditary belief in most religious choices available to the child of religious parents or caregivers. Religion is more common.
Hold on a second. Is that not true? I mean, like almost universally true?
Yeah.
When is that not true?
Like even, I'm not sure what the percentage is, but it's like the vast majority of people happen to believe in the religion that they were raised in.
Yeah, it's 73%.
Okay.
In the Pew Research study, 73%. Yeah.
Like they just happen to be born into the correct religion, hey?
Yeah. It says, I think it's from your area. So what they said is it seems like that religion is more a geography thing than a belief thing. Yeah, thank you for explaining that in an odd way, but true way. Yeah, geography thing. In other words, coming back to, it's not really a geography thing. It's a cultural thing, like I say.
Yeah.
Because if you're in one area that's enculturated into one kind of thing, that's you.
Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that's why Texas is mostly Baptist, and like Quebec is mostly Catholic.
And how about this? I see him and act like someone from Southern California that's hang out with gangs and stuff. Well, that is what I mean. I act like my environment, I mean, someone's making a comment that you are influenced. I mean, that is an absolute. That's not an inaccuracy, but that also means that we have then, hold on, as an axiologist, a responsibility then for our actions, since we are doing this stuff. We're in a sense. Yeah, we are in a sense, by doing things, we can motivate people or be coercive or inspire people to do things harmful to themselves or others.
That's right. So we could, like people in general, make the people around them behave in certain ways.
Well, to me, that's often the case, and that's also to me like there's a thing called fond du lac, or which is a personal thing where you're usually around someone with schizophrenia as a partner or someone that stays with them, and the schizophrenic explain stuff with such passion and imagination that the other people believe or start to believe it's actually real.
Right.
And they've also said this happens in religion. It's not just limited to that shit. It's actually way more. It's actually not even limited to one person and another person. It's actually when a whole bunch of people do, it's called, mass hysteria or group think or whatever. Yeah. So
right.
It's, but here's the thing. I see it, that tendency is really a pro-social behavior. It was better, say, if we're in a group of people for whatever reason, and they all start running, to not just stand there and wait to figure out why. Right? If you were to tell me you don't know, but all of a sudden everyone, like 1,000 people just run past you, you're going to stand there like,
what's happening? I better run too.
So I understand it's a hijacked natural instinct to feel that the group must be right, or to trust a group because it may be safety for you. But we now need to segregate when our physical safety and mental, beliefs. Just because a bunch of people believe things, it's a logical fallacy to believe that makes it real or true because of the belief. You need evidence to make beliefs substantiated. That's why I like to talk about, to me, instead of saying an atheist says beliefs don't exist, I talk about belief etiquette, that we are going to have them. So just get over that bullshit. So because we're going to have them, then we should try to make it reasonable, right? So I say there's 3 standards. The first thing is, in a sense, how you approach what you're willing to believe or you let come into your life or whatever. Like how often or how long are you going to spend listening to the video on why the earth is a hologram? You know what I'm saying? There's things you just don't let into you realize. So this goes back. So it should be reasoned belief acquisitions. That means that you should take in things that fucking sound reasonable. Doesn't mean you can check everything. If I tell Corey I have a dog, it's not unreasonable for him to believe I might have a dog, even though I do not have a dog.
Right.
But if I said it and he doesn't think I'm a liar, and it's also not really harming his life if I do or don't have a dog, to believing that is not that big of a deal. So the emotional is not the point. It's really even epistemic is not the point. He doesn't need to have epistemic evidence of a dog.
Right.
It's not a big deal in his life. But when I say, Corey, there's this dog, right? Same dog. There's a dog. It's a supernatural being that wants to send you to hell. And it's told me I need to kill you. See what I'm saying?
Now we're in. Now it matters.
But right. But so I'm just saying is so the belief can be dangerous. I'm going back to what I say, like why does Damien attack faith, right, in beliefs? Well, most of that I attack faith a lot. If you ever read some of my stuff or even my pictures, I really try to just lambast faith as absolutely much as possible. Because I see that's the start. Like I was saying about fear is of the unknown is where you start that because you fear, you can learn to hate things we hate, we seek to destroy.
Yeah.
So if the process starts with the fear. So that's why I try to approach things without fear. In other words, I don't try to stay this bias of things. I try to, just because different doesn't have to be good or bad.
Right.
This could be different. Corey wore a hat. I didn't. That's different. Does that make it good or bad? Is it
Some
matter?
people think it is.
No, but I'm just trying to show you how. And those people are not logical. That's what I'm trying to say. Some things don't have a sense of moral value. The fact of me wearing a hat or not wearing a hat, or Corey wearing one, literally has not. It's just it absolutely doesn't. It's aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's a choice. It doesn't matter. So I'm just saying that there's some stuff it doesn't matter. But I personally am not okay if Muslim countries, when they only give women a freaking slit, in their face, or they beat them to death or throw acid on their face. Yeah, fuck that shit.
Right.
That made me want to run around naked, I mean, fucking fuck you. So to me, once again, because people have dignity. Now, I'm not saying that when someone, leaves their face out, which a lot of the religions do. I know people get so much about the certain, things that a Muslim wears, when that literally is almost no different than a nun, and people think nuns are fucking special. So, Well, to me, as outsiders, like, yeah, you have a bunch of stupid hats. Who gives a fuck? None of them are better.
Yeah, that's right.
As long
You're
as
all
you're
just
not
dressed
like,
weird. Yeah.
as long as you're not like covering the person's fucking face, because of, some modesty bullshit forced on
Yeah,
them.
that's
I
the
could
thing
care
too.
less.
Like the thing, because like you say, like because everybody's a dignity being, like it's the forced upon aspect
Right?
of it, right?
Exactly. How could it
If
not be? Right.
yeah, like well, I know like in Canada, some women dressed in like the full garb with just their eyes as a protest against a religious or an anti-religious expression law in Quebec.
Right.
And you go, well, maybe their religion is forcing them to do that, but it is not up to me to force them not to do that if that is something they want to do, right? So it's very like they're dignity beings who get to choose for themselves.
I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree.
So,
Well, that's like, but that's like, that's not inconsistent with also saying like I am against laws that say people can't wear Muslim style clothing. What the fucking bullshit?
right. Yeah. Now
So
you're making a law that you claim is protecting women, but you're outlawing their expression or whatever.
But yeah, to me it's the force. If someone's being forced, that's fucking wrong. I should stop. And I would have no problem against a law about that. But about fucking force, like if some guy is beating his wife and making her wear a fucking hijab, I think it should be a law against that. No problem. That doesn't bother me. I told you.
Because that's wrong.
It's wrong. I told you. Yeah. I don't have any fucking problem, but this is what I think is weird. It's like I'm not. And when I'm an anarchist, I'm an anarchist because I don't like laws that are unjust, that are fucking taking away my dignity, not valuing who I am.
Yeah.
Like no.
Yeah.
So I just like I told you, I vote, right? But that's my personal choice. I don't tell anybody they should or should not vote. What I say is you should do what's ethically right for you.
Yeah.
And what's ethically right for me is that I vote for someone who can win and make it less horrid than more horrid. But that doesn't mean I don't logically see that it's horrid. Like someone said to me, because I posted something about Trump. And someone goes, you do Joe Biden too. And I said, I think Joe Biden is a scumbag.
Yeah.
I've already said that.
We've talked about that many times.
But I think Trump is a fucking monster. So yeah, I'm sorry. I do care about. And he's like, well, how are they different? I said, they're the same, except because he started talking about capitalism. He goes, well, Biden's all for corporations. I go, and Trump isn't.
Yeah, that's right.
They're both capitalists. They're equal in that. What Biden is not is a Christian nationalist trying to take away human rights. Biden is not trying to take away African American rights. Trump sure as fuck will.
Right.
And or support all those fucking, because it's not just him, it's all the other far right wing shit that want to, just like I said, Ron DeSantis, right? Just to give you a real example, he wants to take out Black history courses, or whatever it was. I don't remember. They're not teach. He wants to teach that slavery had benefit to people. Yeah. What the fuck?
He basically wants to revamp a history in general, right?
But so how can we be okay with that?
Yeah.
Yes, Joe Biden is scumbag. This motherfucker's worse.
Yeah.
You go, Joe Biden is a fascist. Trump literally quotes Nazis. His people hold swastika Nazi flags. What the? Trump says that people are human animals or whatever the fuck he just said. And worse than that, I'm like, you do realize Trump literally said, because the guy was a communist. Literally, Trump said he wants to remove communists, Marxists, anarchists from socialism society.
Yeah.
How are you fucking okay with that being? So but once again, that's how I see it. And so I just explain my position. And if people are compelled by that, good. And if they're not, that's fine too.
Right.
I'm telling you how I see it and what I do. So that's how I see it, and why I said I even if I end up voting for Joe Biden, I probably will. I fucking hate it. I wish I didn't, because I don't want worse. Yeah, I don't think he's good. So don't think I fucking think I not think he's good. But just like any Democrat is probably going to be better than Ron DeSantis. So guess what? When someone is a Democrat down here in Florida, where I live, and Ron DeSantis here, I will absolutely vote against Ron DeSantis. That thing is a fucking scumbag, piece of shit.
Yeah, and like it's not like there's a lot of parties in the United States to choose from.
No.
So
I'm just saying, if I want to make a real difference, I understand some people want to vote third party. That's what I said. Like some of the Democrats get mad that I don't get mad at people for voting third party. I'm like, how do they get mad? I understand. I almost want to do it myself. Trust me. I used to just not vote. In fact, I didn't vote until Trump. Just so people know, I stopped voting. The last time I voted was for George Bush Jr. One time, the first
2004.
After that, right after that, almost when I became an atheist and changed and became anarchist, and so I just stopped voting. From that point, never voted again. Didn't vote for Barack Obama or any of that because I was just the Trump came and the shit he said. Like I said, especially the racism, which has he not brought more racism in America? Holy fuck!
Yeah.
So so him saying that I have family. I told you in Mexico. I've been to Mexico. I have family, met him and stuff, and hung out with one of my favorite cousins are Hispanic. So when he said that Mexicans are rapists and that shit, I was fucking done. Hated the motherfucker from then. That's it. I was fucking done. And people were like, Damien, why are you so mad? He just started. Oh, fuck. He said racist shit. I'm fucking done. And he said shit about people I care about, my own fucking family. Fuck him. I'm fucking done. Racist motherfucker right there. And I didn't even know about other things he'd done racist. Because I didn't really pay attention until he said that. And I was fucking done. Just so people know. What do I feel? I hated that motherfucker from that day. And it's only gotten worse. He has not proven to like somehow be also okay. No, he's also a monstrous terrorist, not communist, con man. That's what I was going to say. Con man. Yeah. He's a freaking but he's worse than that. He's like, anyways.
Yep.
I'm just making a point, but I also don't tell people what to do, right?
Right.
I just say this is why I do it. So I don't defend me. I don't defend other things. So and also, like I said, I do really also want to fucking vote Green Party or something. I'm like 90% Green Party. Like I took a test. I was like, fuck, I should like be in the Green Party because almost everything they do, I agree with. So, but like I said, because I know they're not actually going to have any chance of winning. When the socialists up in Seattle are winning, could actually win shit. Oh, I voted for those fuckers. Oh yeah, I didn't vote for Democrats. Fuck no, socialists down the fucking line.
Right.
No, but that's all I'm trying. But right now, so I'm just saying because I'm a realist. What do I have available to me? Not what would be wonderful. I wonder for anarchism. That's what I want. In fact, this is getting rid of fucking political parties. I just anarchism. No more political anything. No one's a leader. Fucking just everyone helps each other. Yeah, that's what I want. But that option ain't on the fucking thing. So I go because I want my personal as axiologist. I want to be doing what's good. I cannot sit here and let Trump get in. Especially now he wants to openly say he's a dictator. Are you fucking kidding? How much more does he need to say? I'm a fucking Nazi.
Yeah.
I mean, he literally needs to fucking go like this and have fucking put swastikas on himself, fucking tattoo with fucking on his forehead.
Right.
I'm done, motherfucking done. Racist was enough. Nazi makes it fucking worse. He's a racist Nazi and he's also a con man. Fuck. People are like, oh, democracy. You don't even have democracy. What fucking scares me is how much he's going to bring more racism and more terrorism to America, more against gay hate, and trans hate, and that's the shit I told you before. I care. There's real people are being hurt. That's just my feeling. But so, like I said, I want to vote Green Party. Fuck, that's more what because they say, how could you vote for what you don't believe? Yeah, I don't believe it. It's just like saying, how could I vote if I have a choice? If someone's going to shoot me or someone's going to punch me, I'm going for punch me.
Right.
I mean, like someone said before, what if you're in these one of these, Saudi Arabia, where if I was as open as atheist as I am, I'd be fucking in jail and flogged and maybe dead. Get the execution because Saudi Arabia sees me as a fucking terrorist. Because of my atheism. And I'm certainly not very hard atheism, so it wouldn't be hard to justify that I am mean to theists or theism, not theists, but theism. I am certainly mean to theism and certainly mean to religion. I'm probably one of the meanest because, in a sense, these other people, a lot of times when they're mean, are just being mean. What I'm being is logical and giving you evidence and destroying faith.
Yeah.
Different. But my point is, so someone asked me before, what would I do if I was over there? If I was over there, I wouldn't be open as an atheist. That's what I'd fucking do, because I value my fucking life more than atheism.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Or I would be secretive. I would do the things that I do as undercover as I could.
What? Because unless you like to be tortured and killed.
Yeah.
So,
because you can't make the world a better place if you're dead.
So, if they told me that I can vote for women to have the right to drive, or women have no right to drive, do you think that I should ethically, I'm just saying my own position, as axiologist, do you think I'd feel compelled to vote for women to be able to drive?
I would think so.
If I was in Saudi Arabia, I'm talking about.
Yeah, I would think you would want to vote for them to drive.
Right? Well, I could just not vote. Or I could vote a party that supports anarchism, which would be removes the king or whatever. Right? Yep. But that's not going to win. The kings are still good. But it's still the prince. They're all going to be there. The Saudi royal family. So it's really only a matter of, do I want to vote for women having the right to drive or not? I'm just saying it's for me. So I agree. It's very simple. Yes, of course I'd vote for, because I feel compelled to. Anyways, so I'm just saying, most of the other presidents, I did see them as basically almost the same. Especially, just people understand, the Democrats only recently cared about gay rights. Just saying.
Yeah.
Recently.
That's right.
Okay? Because even Barack Obama was kind of wishy-washy about if he really believed in support of gays. And he changed. He just had a change or something, supposedly before becoming president, I think, or something. But my point is, so then he wasn't before. That's right. He even acknowledged he wasn't before.
Yeah.
Right? So back when the Democratic Party also hated gays, then I had a lot less reason to give a fuck about voting, right? Why?
Yeah.
You hate gays. You hate gays. You fucking care about corporate donors. You care about fucking stealing all the money. Fucking everybody's taxing me. It's like, fuck all of you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I don't see what benefit do I have to vote. So when people used to say, which they're kind of saying now, what's the benefit? Well, there used to be no benefit. So, or very little to me. I mean,
there's probably, like you say, there's probably not a huge benefit in one way or another, but for some groups, they will maybe be harmed less.
Well, they will. They will be harmed less. I mean, this literally, yes. In fact, we can look at the stats of how many harms when Trump was in and how many harms when Biden's in. And look at how many riots has there been since Trump was out of office. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's literally, I don't even need to use stats. Just look at around. It's not happening. Yeah, that's right. Where's the unite the right shit? Where is it?
Yeah.
Fucking died off, right? Yeah, because so you get why I do know when you put a fucker in power, they're gonna go fucking ape shit.
Yeah.
Again.
That's right. The literal levers of power, the actions that he takes may not be a huge difference one way or the other, but like you say, when you put somebody as a figurehead for the far right, they all come out of the woodwork. They all start tromping down the streets.
And just like I told you, there was an atheist that told me, I unfriended him. I unfriended the whole bunch. If they said they're pro-Trump, I unfriended them. I'm an atheist. All I hear is your Trump. Yeah, just gone.
You can't do that logically. You can't be an atheist and pro-Trump logically. The two are inconsistent.
I mean, So yeah, but certainly not an axiological atheist. That'd be fucking possible. But this goes back to, like I said, about the agnostic stuff, because we're showing, to me, I think, that there is sometimes these just polar choices. It's not really.
Yeah.
And it's almost offensive when people are like, well, I'm a centrist about Israel. Like, how the fuck can you even do that and feel you can justify yourself for a centrist of what exactly?
Yeah, that's right. A centrist of what exactly? You're kind of on the fence about genocide. Like what?
Correct. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I don't understand. But that's like I said, I feel it's the same thing. You kind of think it's good to not believe things that are not true, but you still believe that God's possible. How do those two statements coincide together?
Right. Yeah, it doesn't.
Right. Let's read some more.
Sure. Yeah, I was down here. Religion is more commonly like a family, culture, society, etc., available belief that limits the belief choices of the child, and that is when religious belief is not only a matter of some personal choice, and when it becomes hereditary faith, not because of the quality of its alleged facts or proposed truths, but because everyone else important to the child believes similarly, so they do as well, simply mimicking authority beliefs handed to them. Because children are raised in religion rather than being presented all possible choices, but rather one limited dogmatic brand of religious belief, where children only have a choice of following the belief as instructed, and then personally claim the faith hereditary belief seen in the confirming to the belief they have held themselves all their lives.
But what I mean by that is, like, even though this was never a choice you made, ever, you assume that it was your choice, not only a choice, but the correct choice, which you didn't even make a choice. You literally just did what you were told exactly. And then later, like I think they call it post-sales defense or something. I can't remember now, but some sort of psychological thing where because you bought it, it had to be good. Because if you otherwise you bought something bad, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Intentionally, like you were stupid. So because you don't want to be seen as stupid, your ego or whatever, you go, oh no, it had to be good, and you defend it even though it's not good. And well, maybe the price was okay. The price was not good. But you will fucking do the same thing with the religion. You were not given something good. You didn't even have a choice, but yet you'll defend it if it was the best choice ever.
Right.
That's what I mean by that what you just read.
Fair. Yeah. So this is obvious in the statements asked and answered by children claiming a faith they barely understand, but they do understand that their family believes this or that faith, so they feel obligated to believe it too. While I do agree that religious belief should only be a matter of some personal choice, it rarely is. And hereditary religion. We are all travelers of humanity, set adrift on a global ship, the Earth. We have a chance of greatness if only we can act as if humanity has a connecting value, one not lost simply because of the different plots of Earth we may reside or what hope we can sustain. Morality, what is right, good, just action. Morals, personal choice, inner self, morality thinking. Ethics, others responsible for inner relational morality behaviors. I don't believe in the supernatural notion of a soul, especially with our natural.
So go back to morality real quick. What do you think about? Because I don't like sometimes we go through too much stuff without getting interaction about it. So what are your opinions? That's my definition or explanation of what morality is and why.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, I find I have a lot of trouble separating morals and ethics because, like you say, morals, yeah, maybe they're the internal values and whatnot.
Well, so to me, so I'll explain what that means. What I'm saying. So values are some internal core thing, right? And from that, other things come. So morals are how you think, in a sense, you should behave.
Right.
That's your, but it's not a belief about the world.
Say
my moral, as you know, is to be an ethical person. People actually don't treat me ethically, but I still choose to. But I don't demand that everybody does everything. I try to be more ethical in a sense than probably even required, but that's a personal morality.
Right.
It's not ethics. That's how I think Damien should behave. I mean, it's probably good for everybody to behave that way, but I mean, it's so I mean, I understand that, but I put that.
But it wouldn't be, like you say, it wouldn't be ethical to force people to behave in the way that you.
No, once again, then you're back to anarchism because that's what anarchism believes. Then you go, well, God, that's like when you told me a long time ago, Damien, you sound like an anarchist. It's not because I read some anarchist book or philosophy or became. It's just because I thought this way axiologically and in my own persuasion, and it just happens to be that's anarchism.
Yeah. No, I think like you say, if morals are your own personal way of doing things, like how you hold yourself accountable and whatnot, that makes sense to me. And then ethics,
ethics is how we're supposed to interact in a social environment. Just like there's there's business ethics, but there isn't business morals.
Right.
Because that would actually relate to what the company thinks about itself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The company should be good stewards to the environment. That would be a moral.
Right.
The ethic would be actually acting on it and doing things like having machinery that doesn't pollute, or or like the same thing. The company, going to morals, right, to help you understand. So a business moral would be the company should be ethical stewards to their employees, right? They should have great benefits, right?
Right.
They should be able to get time off when they need it, not just because they're sick. I hate this, that we only get, this is such bullcrap in America. You can pretty much only have time off when you're sick. This should be illegal.
Right.
I mean, it should be illegal. Because guess what? You should have personal time off. I mean, this isn't jail, is it? It's a fucking job.
Yeah.
How is it okay that they can force you to be there like a fucking prison? You got to go to the warden with the fucking permission slip to get off on a Wednesday, maybe, because that's the only day you get visitors.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, what the fuck? Anyway,
Yeah.
I know it's my anarchist coming out and just going,
yeah,
the
sure.
fuck? That's not okay. But so, in a sense, so if a company says they have the value, right? The value is people should be taken care of. The company says we're going to be good thing and take care of our employees. Well, if you have that, your behavior ethically should be that your people are not making minimum working wage, and they're not suffering the abuses of capitalism. That would be right. You're going to be caring. Well, and this is I really hate about going to capitalism real quick for people that don't grasp. This is my perspective. So this one time I had a problem with a Marxist where he was talking about how all markets or money is bad. This is going back to even though I believe in communism, pretty much everything except the no money. That's the part I don't. Ethical. If they're ethical, doing things ethically, isn't that the point? To me, just money is a term. Once again, like God term, just like the word good actually used to relate to something religious. That's the origin of the word. To me, relate to being like godly or something. I think or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but so don't quote me if I'm wrong. But it was something like that. But my point is that doesn't. So because someone tried to tell me I can't use words that as an atheist that had words that relate to God. That's the point I'm talking about. Good people. It's just stupid. So yeah, I can use words. So yeah,
get out of here.
Well, it's the same thing. Well, it's just like the word democracy. I am for direct democracy. I do not support this. If you mean it's a representative democracy, I don't really feel like that's democracy. I think that's actually con horseshit. In my opinion. Yeah. You vote for someone to do shit for you, but they actually can do what they want, and then you have no say. What the fuck?
So in a sense, it's not actually democracy.
Yeah. No.
Because I have no say ultimately.
Well, yeah, and they did studies, and I can't remember which school, Berkeley or something, did a study, and that the House, I think it was, or Congress, one of them, I can't remember now. Maybe it's both. It said that they only helped do what Americans want, like 3%.
Right.
I'm like, this is the thing that they're trying to defend, right? It's not working fucking at all for us, but let's keep doing this way. I'm like, just like I told this one Democrat, and then she started being actually more anarchist thinking, really. But that's why I told you that is the point, though.
Yep.
Corey tries to get to the converted. Damien tries to get to they don't know they need to be converted.
Yeah.
So, anyways, she was saying, she almost blocked me, right? This one Democrat almost blocked me because of me being anarchist, right? And I said, well, hold on, it's ethical. I'm going to vote against Trump. I guarantee that. I fucking stand that. No way I'd be okay with that person getting in, and I did nothing to stop it. Yeah. No, fuck that. So, to me, and I said, see, so we're not that different. I just don't agree with most of the shit you say about that political stuff, but a lot of your other ideas, I do agree with gay rights and women's rights. I mean, we're on the same page, kind of, on that. But It's their stuff, no. And then she's like, oh, well, it's no good. You're never going to happen. I said, see, you're not grasping anarchism. Or even my opinion of democracy. Direct democracy would be that everybody in America's vote counted. Do you know what that would mean? None of these Republicans would have been in the last fucking 30 years.
Yeah, that's right.
None of them.
Yeah.
They haven't won shit. Or maybe they won one time. And nothing. I mean, they have not known as a popular vote I'm talking about, like a president.
Yeah, they never win the popular
even
vote.
in your repressive system, right, which I think is crap, it still sucks, because if you actually just did your repressive system and only changed to make it democracy, you would never have another Republican. In fact, sorry to break your news to you, you wouldn't have most Democrats either.
Right.
You'd get all of you fuckers out.
Yeah, they'd all be out.
Yeah, I bet. Because you know what? If everyone has a voice, you know what? Yours won't be heard. Yeah. Because this thing of, what I mean is greed. Like, if everyone gets a vote, do you really think we're going to support billionaires? Do you seriously think so?
When so many of us are not and are struggling.
Yeah. If the 99%, as they say, all gets to vote, you really believe we're because even if let's just say that some of them are sycophants for the billionaires, and because it's happening now. We have sycophants for billionaires, so it's not impossible. But they will never be the majority.
Yeah.
No, it won't happen. Especially this: the more people get freedom, the more they realize they don't like not being free.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, it's just like, to me, I was shocked if someone is an actual anarchist and understands, grasps it all, and then someone that chooses not to be. It just, that to me rocks my world. How in the fuck did you?
How did you do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
No, because then I would. Only way I could, if I stopped being an axiologist and stopped grasping value and what's good, then I guess maybe. But the fuck's that?
I'd have to. Yeah, like I became an anarchist because I started learning more.
See,
like,
so clarify.
Go
you learned about how to treat people ethically. You learned how that we all matter. You learned how solidarity and how to motivate through compassion, not anger.
Yeah, in a sense, because I wasn't always a compassionate person. I wasn't always a person who gave a shit about other people. I didn't believe in community the same way I do now. So yeah, in a sense, I did learn how to be an ethical person, and that took me.
That's why I always say, if you change your values, you change your life.
Yeah,
that it really matters. So that's all I was saying about the morality. But to explain it more, but we can keep reading but
sure.
At least the morality we got down.
Yeah, so we got, I don't believe in supernatural notion of a soul, especially with our natural only evolution. Undesigned natural processes of evolution made us believing machines. I'm not an animist, thus I don't believe in souls or spirits. How can I? When in our natural only evolution did that added any magical anything? I can't buy anything but natural, thus I can be labeled a metaphysical naturalist, also called ontological naturalist, philosophical naturalist, and anti-supernaturalist. I see religions as conspiracy theories of reality, just
by the way, real quick, some people, which I think is a bullshit, like just bigotry, say that position is illogical or whatever, or some bullshit. No.
To not believe in supernatural?
Yeah, to not believe. Once again, it goes back to agnosticism, just so you understand. Because they say that saying that there is and saying that there isn't is, you need to.
They're equal.
You see what I'm saying? It's just, I'm like, you're talking ludicrous again. You need to get the axiology scale out and weigh these. Do they really? One is no evidence, and one is demanding evidence, and the one demanding evidence is also wrong. What?
It's like, here's a bunch of claims. I don't have to prove it to you. You just have to accept that these could be true. What? No, I don't. What are you talking about?
Right. That's why there's no epistemic motivation. That goes back to, like I was saying, about being apatheist.
Right.
Really, if you start at zero and then the beyond zero is apatheist. Once What I wouldn't look around and go, yeah, I don't see supernatural anything, and then move on with my fucking life. Just like you ever seen animals like seeing magic tricks? They fucking freak out.
Yeah.
I mean, they totally lose their mind. You know why though? Because they have a value inside that reality is real.
Yeah.
But when they see something violate reality, they go, that can't be so.
Yeah.
It can't be. So they know something is error has happened, that's not reality. Something is wrong.
Yeah.
So you know they're not believers because they actually never get to the point. They either get to okay, it's something weird happened, but they don't go like, I totally believe things just disappeared. They don't get there. You see what I'm saying? They don't go supernatural jump. So I call it proto-superstitious when it's in animals. I don't think, I know that they say they have superstitious behaviors, but I see, my personal feeling is it's probably proto-superstition. At least that's how I'm labeled in my book too. Because to me, watching animals do that behavior, they don't believe.
Right.
They never get to the, oh, I believe it was magic, you know. No, they think it, they literally, they run away. So I don't buy it. You see what I'm saying? They do it, what seems like a superstitious behavior. It's like a cause and effect relationship behavior more than I think totally superstitious to me. So it just goes to there. It's leading to that in a sense, like proto that.
Okay.
It's not a full developed, or maybe it's just barely developing. So it's something. I don't disagree that they do with bird studies, that birds can like think that things are going to give them food because they saw them or something. They do.
Oh, okay.
So they're trying to prove superstitions, and so I'm not saying that there's. I'm just making a point. So I am educated on stuff, and I'm not saying that I don't know that has been proven, but like what I'm saying is that doesn't prove a universal superstitious behavior. Like in other words, do all birds talk? Do all animals talk? It's just birds, right? So birds are uniquely different. So let's just say that birds are superstitious. Is it logical to say every single animal in the whole animal kingdom is superstitious? Do you see my problem?
Yeah, or did you just prove it about birds?
See what I'm saying? But I know once again, because I don't start with just these global jumps. People like logic just fucking leap like Superman. This is back to me when they go, well, Damien, this one person always irritates me posting stuff about how, you know, we don't have no brain, no choice, no free will. And I'm like, okay, here's the problem. I don't think like any of you. None of them. Nobody. See, I don't have all these, you know, terms and things they do. Let me explain to you, because first off, I feel like you're fucking all like not getting something. To me, the mind is not the only thing that's involved. Every single thing throughout your body has a sense. You can feel weight, pressure. Like when you first wake up, you notice your body pressure in the bed or whatever, your position you're laying, right? All these messages are coming in. So your world is super, like you're floating in an experiential world. So to think it's limited to the brain is fucking ridiculous. You literally, unless you sever something, but then you would feel just numb. You wouldn't feel anything. So, anyways, going back to what I'm just going to say. So, understanding the process of how I feel my leg doesn't mean that somehow I had to think about it, right?
Right.
But is it not me? Did I not think about it? Was it not me thinking? Like if I want to move my leg moves or whatever. Is it not me, the thinker, that's doing it?
Right.
Even if I'm unaware, is it not me that's doing it? It's not you. It's me that's doing it. So explaining it as me not doing it, right, would sound like a fallacy. So when a scientist says, I can read your subconscious mind coming up with ideas before you realize them, it's like me saying, oh, I didn't know my leg was down there, but yet it moved, or my heart was operating without me thinking about it.
But it's still my heart. It's still me doing,
right? It's me. I feel like there's like an explanation error. This is the problem. There's the thing called a fact. Then there's a thing called an interpretation of the fact.
Right.
I'm not denying the fact. I'm
like your subconscious mind
of what they think they found.
Right. Yeah. So if you say like your subconscious mind does make decisions before you are consciously aware of them, but that's still your subconscious mind is still you.
It's you. It's literally fucking you. So I feel like there's like a logical error happening where they're thinking somehow, because this, so you're explaining that how conscious thought emerges is because the subconscious, which is still fucking Damien, has all, because is it not, Corey? Does it not limit to my biases? First off, let me just talk about the stories or their test of why I fucking hate it. And I'll debate anybody on it. Any fucking philosopher or any scientist that's about neurology wants to come here and think they're right, I'll debate anyone on it. I hate this so fucking, because this, once again, they've even done studies that they've proven that if you believe you have free will, you'll act more ethical than if you don't. Okay. I know we have some amount of free will, so we don't have all of it. So the Christians are wrong, and so are these fucking skeptics. They're also wrong, or philosophers. They're wrong. So the first off is you did a binary thing. You did A and B, the test. I'm talking before we go back to like I was saying about the even if it's true. Okay. But, so I don't agree with the test. A binary test is not good enough for a non-binary mind and world. Totally not good enough. You're also saying moral choices. Moral choices, I know you don't, moral emotions. It actually inspire the values and choices.
Yeah.
How much emotion you feel towards a certain issue is going to make it more important. Thus, you will value it more. Thus, it will actually be something you do more, care more, or it'll be more harmful. In other words, if you think that the worst thing is people chewing bubblegum, and you see someone chewing bubblegum openly in front of you, it's going to cause more issues.
Yeah.
Than if they chewed bubblegum in their house and never chewed it around you. Even if you knew they were chewing it in their house. But my point, though, is about how it bothers you. So I'm just saying everything, there's all this stuff. So and those are called also biases, right? Aren't they no different? Those are no different than biases. I don't like a certain thing. And so, I do. I don't like, I shaved my hands and my arms and my armpits. I hate hair. I think it's disgusting. But so does that mean that I need to force everyone to do that, or say that everybody has to do that, or the only people look good that do that? So I'm saying there's the issue. Not that I personally do it. If I personally do it, it is a shit. There's no moral thing.
My curiosity is always like, because I'm a cause and effect guy, right? So even if my subconscious brain is doing things without my conscious brain knowing about it, I want to know what caused the subconscious brain to make that decision. Where did that come from? Was that a process of learning? Was I taught that as a child? Was that something I read? Was there, where did that come from?
We already have done tests and proved that. So in other words, too, I'm just saying that they're not grasping. You can't just take this one fact and then by yourself come up with this theory devoid of all the other facts we've already learned.
Right.
They have to match. You want a unifying theory? You know what you do? You unify it, like Damien does when I explain how religion got evolved.
Right.
That's a good unifying theory. They're full of all kinds of logic and evidence and reasons that I think things. So because of that, I'm just saying that's how you do it. Not like just make shit up or whatever. It has to be reasonable.
Yeah.
And how you behave should be no different. And then your choices you make should be no different. And then,
really
like I said,
yeah. Really not a fan of the whole free will determinism kind of like, even like concepts as they are. Like,
well, there's like Daniel Dennett is a compatibilist or whatever, which thinks that, okay, we don't have free will. But like I said, there's already tons of problems with that term and that whole thinking. Yeah. So if you mean, I always say, what do you mean by things, right? To me, if you mean free will is that nobody is affected by any biases or any motivations that are external to them, that's impossible.
My thinking is an uncaused thinking.
If you think that, then I totally disagree. Then there is nothing. If you mean that, then you're right. There is no such thing as free will. If that's what you mean, that it has to have no motivations at all. But to say that you have motivations, that just means that you have something that is there. It doesn't mean that's going to be an action. Every motivation is not an action. It isn't ever.
Right. Yeah. Not all motivations lead to actions.
I feel like freaking punching people sometimes. That doesn't mean I do it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
So
how about
yeah,
this? It's because I have a sexual urge, Corey, and I'm already aroused, and I'm already having sex. What if the person I'm having sex with, which has happened to me, goes, "Can you hurry up? I'm hurting." And I said, "You're hurting. I can't hurry. I'll just stop."
yeah, then we have to just stop.
Right. I mean, because then what other choice is there? If you're going to keep hurting, I can't do anything faster. Then we just need to stop. If I'm a caring person, right? Which is what I did. I said, and I had people before tell me, "Oh, you should have just kept going," and you should have got off. Yeah, I think that's a problem right there. I think that kind of behavior, because I'm not valuing that other person's dignity being, am I?
Right.
No. So that once again, I try to hold myself to a higher standard. And I think in general, though, with consent, when people tell you that you need to stop, you need to stop. It didn't matter I was already hard. Didn't matter I didn't come yet. None of that matters.
Yeah.
The other person said to stop. That is what matters.
Yep.
And the same thing to me is clear cut about the God belief. You have no evidence, then there's no possibility. Done. Can't invent a possibility of no evidence of anything. Because it's not, in other words, it's not like you're saying, well, there's a smaller horse out in this one area that no science ever seen. Because once again, right, possibilities, something has to already exist to be like something, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. That you get what I'm trying to say. But if you said that there's unicorns, well, we have to look at the archaeological record and go, never has there been a horn on a horse.
Yeah.
Not any time in its evolution. So to believe that it now get one is not impossible, because evolution can happen. It's not likely. Not likely, right? So, but then you start to get, but it is possible. So it's actually more probable than God.
Right.
So unicorns are more probable than God, logically.
Logically. Yeah, that's right.
Do you see how ridiculous the God belief is? If unicorns are more reasonable than God, then God belief is absolutely bonkers.
Yeah. Yeah. It's clear there's no justified. Well,
No.
I mean, again, like we don't even know what they mean.
We don't. But that goes back to I've said before, is that my style, the hammer of truth, is 3 types of philosophy. The first one is ontology, which in a sense can be thought of as, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by God? So I say, I believe in God, Corey.
I don't know what that means. Can you help me define that?
Yeah. What do you mean by God?
Yeah. What is that?
And then sometimes you'll be surprised that their answers don't mean what you thought they were going to say.
Well, I'm sure.
Because I learned that sometime when I was in Seattle in colleges. Because I always say, when they say, "Oh, I believe in God and Christian," and I go, "What do you mean by God?" I don't even go on to the rest of their stuff or whatever. But sometimes when I ask, "What do you mean by God?" then they explain it, and I'm like, I wouldn't have thought that that's what you meant. I mean, wow, okay. Because something not even what they were not what you thought at all. Totally like bonkers.
Is that right?
Like, wow. I think this is.
So how am I? Yeah, how do you even interact with somebody who's got?
But I'm always trying to say is that's why it is good, really, to ask, and also it's good to explain it. But just like I would try to say, but that doesn't mean that we have to get one definable thing before we can debunk it. We can debunk all supernatural as boy, really not natural. So done.
Yeah.
I mean, meaning no fucking evidence. Meaning you can't claim shit. Done.
Yeah.
Just like I said before, axiologically, it's a presumptive value failure. You presumed that this God term had value, something that was substance in it, and then when you open it up, it's an empty box, and then you realize, oh, I have nothing. And then, like I told you, I got kicked out of a philosophy group because this guy says it's not fair what I just did. My use of ontology. He goes, no one can answer that question. That's not a fair question. I go,
there you go. The end.
So
then.
you agree, nobody can answer what a God is. That's not an unfair question. That's a realization the God thing is a problem in itself.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like you say, that is not an unfair question. It is evidence that what you're claiming is nonsense.
Exactly. Right. So then how can I be agnostic about it? Why would I think it's reasonable to doubt?
Yeah.
Why? Is it reasonable?
Why would I place it in the realm of possibility?
Is Stay Puft the Marshmallow Man? Should I be agnostic about that? If it's okay for Israel to do genocide, can I be agnostic about that? Would that be reasonable?
It is not.
It isn't. It literally. I mean, so it isn't. Like I said, is it reasonable to hurt children? No,
it is not.
It's not. You can't be a middle position. Well, a little bit of hurting children. No, a little bit of rape is okay. Because to me, to explain universal ethics how I see them, like, because I say I always try to make things simpler. Because I know when I start explaining, it can be even harder. But I try to make it simpler. Like when I say I'm a universal ethicist, what I mean by that is universally what people would choose for themselves. Okay? Which means that we understand that, we wouldn't want people to hurt us. That's just,
right.
We wouldn't want to be raped. I mean, this is all logical stuff. Just if we were, going to look at how we should be treated, it would be pretty fucking, nice.
Yeah, it's almost the golden rule, right? Like the do unto
almost
others.
The golden rule. But the only reason I think that's actually the bronze rule and not a golden rule is because it sticks everything in morality about itself, which stays only in morals.
Yeah.
But it wants to do that error because then it can say the whole world has to follow their morals.
Right.
See the problem?
Yeah.
Right. So they don't want to help define morality and ethics as separate because then they might not be able to push their bullshit on people. So, yeah. Well, because Damien doesn't do that, I explain, actually, that's wrong. No. Those aren't the same thing.
Yeah.
Just like values is not the same as ethics. Values inspires ethics.
Yeah, that's right.
Or can inspire to not do ethics.
This is something I saw somebody on Threads. I guess we're going a little bit afield, but I saw somebody on Threads talking about how ethics doesn't matter because that's not how we determine this thing and that thing. And I go, wait, then how do you determine that you want those things? Like, where are your values coming from? What are you talking about here?
See, aren't I rubbing off on you, Corey? You're starting to sound like an axiologist talking about value all the time because you start to realize, holy shit, this is the way it is.
Yeah.
Not only is it effective to think the way and fast to think and accurately think the way I think, it's actually the right way. It's what's good. It actually produces more good. Like, how could this not? That's why I said people like at the beginning when I was I don't know, 2008 or something. I don't know exactly, but I had a bunch of people. I started becoming more famous and stuff as an atheist, and a bunch of people telling me I should, especially one person told me I should not use the word axiology at all, ever, because nobody's heard of it. No one knows what it is. And just use ethics or whatever. And like, that literally doesn't help. Once you understand axiology, it's way more than just saying ethics.
Right.
Just like I was saying, an axiology related to atheism. It's not just atheism. They hear the word atheism, they think, oh, I know what that means. But I said axiology gets to atheism. Then you don't know what it means.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
don't. Because if you don't grasp it, like I showed you, it's all. But the reason it's all these things is just like the same thing. Why should we care about not raping people? Why? Well, because they're harmed. But why should we care? Because they're dignity beings. But why should we care? Because we're also dignity beings. And we're asking for rights that all deserve.
Yeah.
And so you start, but there's a process of breaking it down where you start to think like, what is the answer to this? And why should we act that way? Same thing, like why should we not promote lying? Why? Or why should we look down on people that lie? See, but the people that lie, especially if we don't limit it to a type of thing, but just as a behavior, well, then you can't be trustable, right? But that also means that can't be very helpful. Because if you don't trust me, even if I have good things to say that are helpful, you don't trust me. You will not take the help. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or what if I say I need help, but you don't trust me? You think maybe I actually don't need help.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm just showing you how, like, in an anarchist society, of course we should support what's true and what can be trustable and what, once again, to me, just in general, just limited to just anarchist support axiology is what it should be. Because once, don't even say ethics, just say axiology, because that will also include ethics, of course.
Right.
You know, but I'm just saying this. So in this sense, you know, that's why I say that I'm an axiological leftist, like how I explain, you know, myself too, is because I want people to understand it. I'm a leftist because of axiology. I didn't read Marx or something, or
right,
you know, anarchist thing that made me, or capitalist or anything. But I heard someone say, well, that one person bull something, or a person socialist said, I have the marks of capitalism on me, even though I've never read the book Capitalism or something.
right.
Anyway, and I would say,
true. Yeah,
I would say I don't have marks maybe on my body. Well, actually, my body's fucking broken because of a truck accident. So yes, the marks are on my fucking body.
Yeah.
And I was actually driving over hours because I was on a road that was no place to stop, because they put me in a position where I was in a place and no place to stop, and didn't inform me I was on a road where there's no place to stop.
Of course.
You know, because that would be, you know, great. But anyways, my point is that but that wasn't what I was even thinking of. What I was thinking of is when I was driving in Oregon and there was an accident, and I was sitting in my truck, and I'm supposed to get paid, I think it was $16, $17 an hour. I can't remember now. Right? An hour. If sitting there by the hour, you know, I'm not, because some truckers are by the mile, and I've also done that, but I was being paid by the hour. I went home every night. I was by the hour. So if whatever I did, I got paid for my whole day, supposed to. I come in, right, payday, and there, that whole day, it's like I was paid half pay.
Right.
I was paid like $7 or something. I'm like the minimum wage or whatever. I'm like, what the fuck? And I go to the boss. What the hell is this shit? This needs to be fixed. And the guy says, oh no, in Oregon, we actually didn't even have to pay you, because those were not, anytime you're not doing your official job, then you don't get paid.
Such horseshit.
And I said, whoa. It said it's a right to work state. And I said, this sounds like a right to not get paid. I go, what are you talking about? I go, so wait a minute. I can be at work, and yet if I'm doing something at work for you that's not part of my job, I don't get paid? What the fuck?
Get the fuck out of here then. Like, I'm not working for you.
And then they said, well, you have to pay at least minimum wage, and that's what we paid you, minimum wage or whatever. And I go, you know, I'm gonna have to really think about that. I went down to the labor board and everything. I mean, I was fucking pissed. But so I thought, oh, so they can legally steal from me because of right to work shit. So then I fucking hated right to work. I didn't know fuck all about it, but I knew it had to be bullshit because these motherfuckers are stealing my fucking wages. Yeah. That's like wage theft. I've posted before about it. It really fucking pisses me off. I didn't become wage theft because I read some anarchist shit. I fucking experienced it. Pissed me the. What do you mean I get half pay? What do you mean you could not pay me for when I'm at work? I mean, I want to punch people. I mean, it's like, what? How is this even fair?
Yeah, wage theft is such a much bigger problem than like any shoplifting or any theft from stores or any of that shit. Wage theft is like the biggest theft in the entire country.
I have another one, right? It's wage theft, right? So I have another one where every time I would come home from this job, it's at Central Refrigerated. I'd come home, look at my paycheck, match it with my miles I know I did, and it would never match up.
Yeah,
and I'd call the chick up, and then she kept telling me, oh, I'm so happy that you could to spend time to figure this out, that there was errors. I go, you know what? You know what's an error and not an error? 6 months now I've called in.
Yeah.
So you erred against me every single time, and then you think it's an error. Here's what I think. I think you're doing this on purpose, and you do it just randomly enough that the drivers aren't really sure, so they just go ahead with it.
Yeah.
And so I have to, every time I check it, every time I've checked it, I've had to call in and demand, and then we'll send you that $1,000. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, there's another 350. Sorry. Oh, 720. Sorry. Yeah. Do you think I'm feeling like punching people, Corey? I'm fucking. So I don't need Marx to tell me capitalism is fucking me in the, and not raping me, I should say. Not fucking me sounds nice. Raping me is fucking raping me. I knew I was raging.
Yeah.
Fucking knew I was getting fucked. Then I went to another job, right? We're supposed to get time and a half, right? So I worked 16 hours. He goes, oh no, time and a half only for the first 3 hours. Also time about getting punched in the face. I'm like, and then I talked to the labor board, and they told me, oh, this guy can do, you know, some stuff, but if you give a claim, then he has to come to court and prove you're wrong. And I said, oh, really? They said, oh, so it's not telling you what to do. Helpful person, no. If he told us that he owed you $3,000, we actually don't make you prove that. We make him prove it wasn't $3,000. I said, oh, really? Because he owes me $750. She goes, $3,000? And I said, $3,000. He freaking calls me up at home. Calls me up at home, the boss. Hey, what are you telling him? We owe you $3,000. I said, well, actually, I want my $750 to tomorrow, and I will drop my suit, and you won't have to go prove it wasn't $3,000. Because guess what? When you get there and they figure out it's $750, they'll still give me the $750.
That's right. You'll still have to pay me. Yeah.
You'll still have to pay me, but it won't be the $3,000. But whatever it is, I'll still get it.
Yeah.
But I can say whatever. You have to prove it's not. And if you don't show up, I will get $3,000. So that's why that guy was pissed. Now he has to show up at court, or I get $3,000.
Yep.
So, anyways. Why should I have to do that, Corey? Man, I was already. You give. Yeah. I don't. And there's many other things I can explain of how
every company is stealing from their employees. Every single one.
So that's what I'm saying, Corey. When they talk about this ethical, you know, capitalism, like that's fucking horseshit. I've lived it. There's no such thing.
No. So,
yeah, people are like, "What radicalized you?" Fucking jobs did. Fucking how you're treated under capitalism. That fucking I didn't have to read a book. I literally like, this is fucked.
Yeah.
How is this not fucked? And like I said, can't go stuff for the weekend. What if Corey needs to do something? We did it. We did this video a different day because Corey needed it, which is totally fine, right? Should it be the job too? What if you need to take off just for a day? Shouldn't you get personal? The fact that it doesn't is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's the error. And then people think, oh, it's okay. Just like that you can't say things on Facebook. You should, or whatever. You should be able to tell your company to go fucking suck a dick. Fuck off, or, you know, get, you know.
Yeah, I knew a truck driver back in the oil, again, what was it, 2012 to about 2014, there was a big oil boom here. And then the price of oil went down. And so there was a company that dropped all the rates they were paying for truck drivers. And one guy complained about it on Facebook. And so then he didn't lose his job, but the company that, like, because trucking companies drive for other companies, right? And so the company that he normally drove for banned him from all their sites because he said on Facebook that he was mad about the rate drop. And you go, well, how's that right? Like, he should be able to say what he feels, right?
Yeah, it's like I said, you shouldn't be at jail, right? That's what I was trying to say about. I'm not saying that people, like, say, if I even believed in a market system, I'm not saying that people should all not ever have any standards or any. I'm saying that we should have ethical ones, meaning that if someone says, hey, I need to go take my daughter or something, or there's a special event I need to go, we should be like, oh, great. Because just think of this, just so people grasp like my concept. How would the other employees feel if Corey said, I want to go do something? Would they be like, well, I don't know. They'd probably be going, yeah, great. Get us pictures. You know what I'm saying? That's how you should be in a job, right? Shouldn't it? They always talk about, oh, well, we're working as a team. The fuck we're not. Our team would have said,
why do I always feel abandoned then?
well, what I'm saying too, if Corey said, hey, I got to go, spend time with my daughter today, they wouldn't go, well, why the fuck do you got to do that? They would be like, hey, great, man, send pics, I mean, you get what I'm saying, the difference, if it was ethical, right? If it was really caring, a real team, that's a real team. When Corey needed something, we'd switch the day, no fucking big deal.
That's right.
Because we're a real team, the difference. That's what I was trying to say. No, there's an actuality about what life is and what good things and what not, they're not good. Yeah. That's how come I won't accept nihilism. I know what's good and not good, and so do you. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and so do you. That's the key, right? Like, of course you know what's good and what isn't good.
Fucking whatever, dude. Yeah. Do you mean religious morality is wrong? Well, no shit. Pseudo morality. That
Yeah,
doesn't mean
that's
all
right.
morality is wrong.
On
Just
that
like
we can agree, but
yeah, I mean, yeah. So let's read some more, and
sure.
then we'll wrap it up.
So yeah, we say I see religions as conspiracy theories of reality, just like their proposed God something beliefs. These conspiracy theories are a hell of a drug, seeming to easily push out all sound reason and critical thinking. If it contradicts their chosen conspiracy theories beliefs, I use the term animism term as a definition of spirit beliefs or a kind of supernatural spiritism thinking. That to me, in all spiritual or religious type beliefs, not primitive but core, it's a common error supporting one's chosen conspiracy theories beliefs. I see animism as the original religion of all humanity and is still in all the religions of the world, and their foundational error of our natural only world actually devoid of any so-called spirits to support animism beliefs.
Right. So what do you think about that?
I think that's right. Like, we all feel it
Right.
at times, but there's no true evidence to support that there's spirits and there or that things have spirit
Exactly.
essences. So
then it makes sense what I'm saying.
yeah,
I'm just trying to break it down and explain it so that you can understand that in a religious
yeah,
persuasion, because I talk about animism or whatever.
right, right.
Read just read until the reading is done. When it gets to the theist, I guess you can stop, because I don't want to be too long.
So we've got Damien, you sent me a follow request. I'm not sure about it as you have anti-religion in your bio. While I'm definitely religiously observant Jewish, do you think we'll really fit? So then your response. I support good people and I'm not a bigot. I see all religions as mythology. Others see only their religion as the one true religion. It is not a limitation to have many religious people of contrary religious beliefs to be friends or work towards shared goals as humans that are not related to religion or anti-religion. Many, if not most, socialist movements have both religious and anti-religionist people who work together in solidarity for more positive economic goals that help the working class. I am a socialist anarchist and I welcome all good humans. I once thought no one was friendly, so I decided to start trying to be a friend to others. No one even seemed to care, so I realized I needed to care. No one really made you feel as you mattered, so I started valuing others. I see the world I wish to live in starts with me. After all, other people are just fellow beings of dignity like me. Hate of others is a disgusting display of foolishness. Bigotry is the shame people smear all over themselves, trying to look better than others. Science, like logic, should follow truth devoid of political or religious / non-religious beliefs or persuasions. To me, to do otherwise is to move away from science and thus risks falling into pseudoscience. To me, a valid possibility is not an all claims are open. Rather, it is inherently constrained to the conditions or fact of being possible. We are like believing machines. We vacuum up ideas like Velcro sticks to almost everything. We accumulate beliefs that we allow to negatively influence our lives, often without realizing it. Our willingness must be to alter skewed beliefs that impede our balance or reason, which brings about a new caring awareness. Words matter. How many more words do I have in this life? We always act as if there's no limit, but they're at our passing to death. Any more words are forever no more. If only given a few words, would I waste them on anger or hate? What if every word mattered? Would I not want to use them to love? An intellectually honest mind welcomes just correction and eagerly strives for what is true over what may be preferred. May reason and evidence guide you. I strive to let evidence and reason guide me. Thus, if the status of evidence for or against any claim, I would take it into consideration, and if soundly warranted, I would amend beliefs to this changed status. Even a believed reasoned speculation could be wrong, in error in some way, needs some reworking or complete relinquishment as a belief. I was thinking if we know groupthink can be a stronger motivator in beliefs and actions, How much blame should there be for engaging in it? Should we take into account the pressure of groupthink, or say many pressures are always engaging us, so all actions hold the same standard?
See, but pause for a second. Do you see what I mean by that? I'm showing you at first, people are like, oh, yeah, we should take it into consideration. And I'm like, well, actually, we're motivated by all kinds of things, right? Aren't we motivated by all kinds of biases? I mean, I'm motivated to be sex-seeking. I'm motivated to be ego-seeking. I certainly have a gigantic ego because of being a sociopath, especially. But also because I am gifted, so it makes it even worse. But my point is, but that doesn't mean I always act as if my ego is more important than other people, do I?
Right.
So obviously I've made a choice, even though my ego is gigantic.
Yeah, and you've got that pressure on you to.
So that's also why I don't agree. We have no free. I'm literally choosing the opposite of what my mind wants. How is that not me doing good? Not doing something my own will. I mean, I'm literally violating what my motivations are.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense because, well, I do understand, like, it's good to be empathetic of people that are in a particular group and they're led to believe a certain way. That doesn't mean that they are exempt from the actions that they carry out.
Because I feel like that's what some people say or want to say or try to go against, like, why I'm too hard. Like, okay, so but we have all kinds of those people. So should we have sympathy for rapists? Because, I mean, we do get horny. I mean, really? No. So it's no different than if they kind of believe they want to have magical thinking. Okay, well, I hold them accountable as much as I hold someone else that are bad choices.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like, okay, I get where they're coming from, but they also still need to be, their beliefs are still incorrect.
But yeah, I'm different in a sense than the new atheist people, because even though I'm a firebrand, I'm also caring firebrand.
Right.
So, an axiologist. So how I behave with people, I don't attack people. I attack thinking, not people. And even I don't attack all thinking just because I can. Because I go back, would that be good?
Right.
Just because I can, would it produce good?
Yeah.
So just because, like, sometimes I could just rip through people. And I don't, because I'm caring and sympathetic and understand it would be better to help them be, as a human, than just like, let's see. So if I heard the most wrong person and it just gone through, like, say, a tornado or something, and they're injured and they need help, but I don't go up and ask them, hey, are you an atheist? You know what I'm saying? In fact, if someone does that, are you a bigot is what you should say. Like, what the fuck does that matter? I'm hurt. I need help. And so same thing if I would say, I don't not help as someone. I would help them because they're hurt and need help. The same way we should feel. It doesn't matter. That's like that to me, how I hear it. It's like if you said, well, what sports team do they believe in? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Not actually important.
It is not. So go ahead and read the other two, and then we'll stop.
Yeah.
May reason and evidence guide you. You see that? Or is it science like logic? No, I think you're in. Yeah, you're in. No.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was in that one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, should we take into account the pressure of groupthink, or say many pressures always engaging us, so all actions hold the same standard? I am not the thing abuse made, and thus I champion reason and evidence to guide me. All understanding or claims of facts and truth should be updated, amended, or changed when there is valid and reliable reason to do so. Damien, philosophy is not science. My response: have you ever heard of the philosophy of science? And if all philosophy was removed, science would stop happening at any advanced level. Can a fact be changed to a non-fact? So, are science facts tentative and thus not absolute like science thinks truth or proof is? And if a fact is demonstrated to be a non-fact, is it not proven to be so? And is that now the new truth status, whether or not a claim of truth is made? Many seem unaware that science involves philosophy, but most science communications don't fully explain the philosophy in science. and even when they are somewhat explained, it is likely limited and thus can add some confusion. I hear over and over again that there is no science proof, only science, evidence, or facts. But a fact is a thing that is known or proven to be true.
Right?
yeah, that's right. Evidence is the available body of facts or information indicating whether a belief or a proposition is true or valid. Some even state that any science that states proves, etc., can never be true because science doesn't prove things; it only tries to disprove. To me, there is so much wrong with that. I will only offer one. This argument of disprove is to prove is not accurate or relatable to the claim.
Right. So that's how you disprove, is to actually prove that it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is still proof.
Yeah, which is still
negative proof. It's what you mean. Negative proof. It's not. It's still proof. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like, once again, because it's people trying to explain philosophy that really don't grasp philosophy.
Yeah.
And so that's why I said it can make a bunch of errors, and that's what I think is happening. I think that people have convinced agnostics that this position is all these things that are actually a bunch of fallacies. So,
right.
Of course, it would sound reasonable if you believed all those errors.
Yeah, that's right. If you compound your errors, then you sound like you feel like you're right.
This is amazing. You're just like, look at all these. Like, those are all errors. Yeah, almost every. And just like certainty, you can't be certain, and like literally, okay, the certainty that goes, you can't be 100%. Oh, that goes back to that one person that was agnostic, used to irritate me. He goes, I'm 99.9999999% sure there's no God. And I go, that's literally not possible in the human mind. You're just talking foolishness.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not possible.
Do you act as if there's a God watching your every move, or do you
one? Come on, you're wrong.
Yeah,
he's saying almost nothing, right? So if you know what, nothing registers. Nothing. That's what registers as. Because he's, I'm an agnostic atheist. I'm 99.9999999%, sure, which is basically 100%. I'm like, okay. In philosophy, there's only two kinds, in the sense of major kinds, but two kind of categories of, in a sense, certainty. Because if there's no certainty, like people say, then they wouldn't even be a word in philosophy that mattered.
It wouldn't exist, yeah.
Right. So but it does, and that's why there's more kinds, because it does matter, because that's why there's kinds. Explain it, because it's not the same. That's ergo the confusion, thinking it is the same.
Right.
So if it involves a percentage, what this is called in philosophy is psychological certainty, which literally has nothing to tell you about its truth value. Zero.
Yeah.
Okay. In other words, Corey, epistemically, which is how you know things, right? So epistemically could have 100% epistemic evidence, but have zero psychological certainty. It wouldn't remove the fact of the epistemic evidence.
Yeah.
Corey could have 100%, like a religious person or theist, 100% belief psychologically, but have zero epistemic evidence.
Yeah.
So these two things are totally not related.
Yeah.
So one is saying, I think, the other one goes, I have evidence. Okay. The other one's, I think. Okay, well, since
you think whatever you want,
no evidence, then I think that's not a good thinking. Thinking that involves no evidence is not a good thinking.
Yeah. The hope is that your psychological certainty or psychological knowledge can line up with the epistemic knowledge.
Well, that would be reasonable, but
that's the hope.
People are not. People are not. Because sometimes, like scientists are actually epistemically hesitant, so they actually psychologically could be way lower than the epistemic evidence. Right. They could have like 30% psychological belief and like 80% evidence. I mean, it doesn't.
Yeah. And then the media will report it as 100% epistemic certainty.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. Well, that goes back to science communication, which is a real problem. We'll do a video on just that one of these times, because that's a big deal, really. How we say things. In fact, there's a archaeologist blog thing that I just won't use because it lost my trust.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't do a great job of scientific communication. It made something sound like a certain way, so I said it, and then all I was doing was saying it from that article because I thought it was reputable archaeology,
Right.
source. And R. Raw made a video about it because I showed it to him and stuff, and he did a video about it.
That's wrong.
About it being wrong, and he's like, "Well, I'm not saying Damien's wrong, but he came with the source and it's wrong." I was embarrassed and pissed, so
Fair.
I don't use that source anymore at all.
Fair.
Ever.
Yep.
So Heritage Daily, I never ever. So anyone shares that with me, I will never share it.
Yeah.
Because to me, they burnt me to a crisp by saying something so I just said what they said. And then someone says I'm looking like a fool. It doesn't make sense. And I thought, well, I didn't really think about it because I trusted them.
Right.
And that really pissed me off also. Like, fuck.
This used to be a reliable source to me, and now they've ruined it.
And what I'm not claiming that all their stuff is bad, but you know what? Just one time, and now I can't trust it.
Yeah, that's right.
And yeah, so I don't like to use things that I fucking can't trust. Like that.
Yep.
Doesn't mean that sometimes I use things that I don't really like, but a lot of times when I'm doing that, I'm using, like, say, a religious thing. I don't really maybe trust this, but I'm using this because I'm trying to explain the religion accurately or whatever.
Right, right.
So I want to hear what they're actually saying.
They're saying, yeah.
Because I don't like straw man. Because I want to know once again, axiology. I want to know the actual stuff.
Yeah.
How else do you make good judgments?
Yeah.
If you're not using the actual stuff, would you call those good judgments?
Right. Yeah.
See what I'm saying? It's like immediately like, no. Yeah, because axiologically, they'd be ridiculously foolish.
By and large, like, that's one of the things that we often criticize our ideological opponents for doing, right?
Sure.
For not actually addressing what we're saying. So,
well, especially as anarchists. Does anybody ever fucking say us correctly practically? I mean, holy shit. Yeah. Especially, like, I've had people, like I said, attack me for shit. And I'm like, have you read any of my ideas? What the fuck are you talking about? Like that one person I told you, then I show you, I think, even, where she called me freaking Hitler. It was an anarcho, what are they? Nihilist, anarcho-nihilist.
Okay.
Anarcho-nihilist said I was Hitler because I promote all this, stuff about humanism and everything, and because I say my anarchist.
That's not what Hitler did.
No, because she says, well, the guy that made nihilism, whatever, I can't remember his name now, but Stirner or whatever.
Egoism.
So Max Stirner, whatever. She goes, oh, he said that humanism. I go, okay, first off, just because he said it doesn't make it a fact.
Yeah.
And here's another fact.
Stirner fan,
that was written, I don't know, like 100 years ago or something. I don't know what the hell. Here's another fact. 100 years ago, that term could have been thought different. Like when we say cool, and we don't mean cold or whatever, all kinds of other colloquialisms. But I'm just saying so words change. So the fact, even if you say something, it doesn't even mean if it was accurate at the time, it's still accurate always. Especially if you're talking about a lot of years in between.
I've been trying to explain this to somebody, like, there's a big difference between dictionary definitions and philosophical definitions.
Yeah.
And often definitions are provisional based on, like, the time and place that they're in. And so you have to, like, examine the context around the way a word is used to actually understand what's being said.
Well, yeah, because sometimes old words are used in a new way, or sometimes new things that aren't words, they're just invented, like turf, right? Or whatever it is, right?
Right.
But was that trans exclusionary feminists? Is that
trans exclusionary radical feminists?
Oh, right. My point is, so when someone said that to me, I can't remember, someone like about, I don't know how many years ago, like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, I don't know. I didn't know what turf was.
Right.
Whatever. And
well,
because as you know, what it is, I don't really hang out and chat to people. I don't really. Everyone thinks I'm online to chat. You ever see how much I post? Do I really chat a lot? I do a lot of fucking spam posting of my ideas and my stuff and my art. Yeah, I really get my stuff out there. That's what I really do. I interact some, but I mean, I
Yeah.
used to interact more, but I don't really interact that much.
Yeah.
Not really. I really just post ideas, or I share people's ideas I agree with, like your stuff or other people's stuff I agree with. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like it's educational. I don't feel like I'm on there to chat. Like I don't private chat with anybody. I don't dig that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. I activism. Now, if you took activism stuff, yes, people can come and say something to me. But I mean, but just to like, if put it this way, anybody who ever goes to my thing and says hi does not get a response.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
No, I mean, I don't respond. It's not being a dick. If you ask it or say something to actually say, then I'll talk to you. But if you want to chat or whatever, hey, where are you from? I will never answer that.
Yeah.
First off, it's my profile, so like, what the fuck? But
I got too much other shit going on.
But I'm not. That's just my thing. I'm just saying why I'm online. I'm not online because of addiction. I'm online because I'm an activist.
Yeah.
So I used to do lots of direct activism, but I'm still an activist. I don't do as much direct activism. I stopped direct activism when I said I quit being an activist. That's what I meant. I stopped as much. Well, I lived direct activism. I tried to go out of my way to do stuff, help homeless, do that. I mean, I out of my way to make my whole life direct activism. But anyways. So I don't do as much. So I'm just making a point, though. I don't go on there because I am enjoying something or doing it. I go on there because I want to make a difference. That's the same thing. Like I said, why I do the stuff on religion, why I do these videos. I want to make a difference. Yeah. It's the same thing. I said, this is not a video of me hating agnostics or something. It's actually because I care about people and I'd like them to reason better. Yeah. I was going to do 2 videos, by the way. I only want to do 1 because I'm going to go back to China because I really want to get to the Americas because I got books in. I just sent Corey a book. We're going to do
I got it yesterday. So
right. And now, I know you may not have got to yet, but I do want you to read my blog too. You can read it before or after you read the book. It doesn't matter to me.
I started reading the blog, but I haven't, I've only a little bit into it. So,
well, I know it's really long, but I want you to understand because this is a really, and you may not know about it that much, but that's why I want you to read the book on the mountain myth because there's not one myth. There's like 4 or 5 of them, and people kind of regurgitate them, and Graham Hancock kind of regurgitates them, and so I mean, it's all this is kind of related. So, and this is also about racism. A lot of this shit's about racism, and so we're going to explain why it's actually racism.
Yeah,
we're going to address all this because we care about Native Americans and about issues in general of people being oppressed and about bigotry. And so, like I said, a lot of my stuff, even though it seems like it's just history, I'm actually got a reason why we're doing it.
Right.
Because I think it's important. Just like I said, we're going to go do India too, because I also told you that I think that like doing China, it's important. These are literally the biggest populations of human on the planet, and we don't think we need to know anything about them.
Right. Yeah.
If we thought as a humanitarian, wouldn't we think that it's important to know about the most people on the earth?
Yeah, we better start learning about them because,
Well, I'm just saying, you get like ethically. I say so. I think it's good for us, but also because I want to debunk religion, and also because I want to teach humanity and teach socialism and teach anarchism and and teach history at the same time, and then of course just reason in general. And also, what happens, I know, when you start when you start getting more of this stuff becomes comfortable. Then even new ideas that seem weird are not as weird anymore. So once again, I've attacked the other thing I said. Things we don't understand, we come to fear.
Yeah.
That which we fear, we learn to hate. That which we hate, we often seek to destroy. So it is upon us to slow down and think and reason and not just blindly hate things we don't understand.
Yeah.
So anyways, on that note, there's no God. So I understand that, and I think I've explained it well. No, but anyway, so Corey, go ahead and tell us about your stuff and what you're doing, and then we'll go ahead and leave.
Yeah, I'm the Skeptical Leftist on YouTube, the Skeptical Leftist podcast on all the podcast apps, and at Skeptical Lefty or Skeptical Leftist on all the social medias. I do read reviews, book reviews with my buddy Justin, and then I do interviews as much as I can, and
right on. I appreciate what you're doing. So, like I said, I'm willing to come and talk with you on read reviews.
For sure.
I'm not real big on reading books, but I'm a good thinker and do know a lot about the world.
For sure.
So
yeah, we'll figure out something to.
And also
for all of us.
I like Justin. Justin is also a friend of mine too.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. But
Right on.
everybody, take care, and I hope that you use reason. Hello, and welcome to my channel. I am Damien Marie AtHope. In the simplest terms, I am an atheist-humanist philosopher and prehistorical writer-researcher at DamienMarieAtHope.com. I am specifically an axiological atheist. An axiological atheism can be thought to involve ethical and value theory reasoned and moral argument driven apatheism, agnosticism, atheism, anti-theism, anti-religionism, secularism, and humanism. Axiological atheists can be understood as a value theory or a value science atheist. As an axiological atheism's ethically reasoned and constructive pro-humanity. I am an axiological thinker, value theorist. The science of goodness, worthiness, usefulness, valuableness, virtue, reliableness, accuracy, validity, morality, integrity, beneficialness, etc., etc. We axiologists have a value consciousness. And in general, we see the architecture of humanistic humanitarianism value in people that we see as dignity beings. Places and things are not. Axiology is a value theory. In its broadest sense, it involves areas of philosophy that are deemed to encompass some evaluative or evaluation aspect. Therefore, it crosses almost all domains in some way or another. Now for a more detailed terms as to what I am. I am an axiological atheist, an anti-theist, an anti-religionist, secularist, humanist, rationalist, writer, artist, poet, philosopher, advocate, activist with schooling in psychology, sociology, as well as I am an autodidact, self-taught in science, archaeology, anthropology, and philosophy. I promote science and am against pseudoscience, pseudo-history, pseudo-morality, things that are found in religion.